believe in the Owl Witch, you know where to tell me. So we've just finished talking about a terrifying owl-human hybrid that vomits up its own organs. Great, let's lower the bar a bit, or try to. Meet Long Ears, another entry into the seminal Nightmare catalog. While not quite as theatrical as the Stakini, Long Ears is still deeply unpleasant in its own right. Less shapeshifter, more biohazard on legs. This creature originally haunted the Florida Everglades, but thanks to the US government's thoughtful policy of forced relocation, the Seminole people and their folklore are now also associated with the Rocky Hills of Oklahoma. So congrats to Oklahoma for picking up another mysterious swamp monster. Good for them. But let's talk about anatomy. Long Ears is about the size of a donkey. Not exactly towering, but not something you'd want sniffing around your campsite either. It looks mostly like a gray wolf, if the wolf had made some questionable choices at a petting zoo. Long Ears also has a tail that's explicitly described in multiple accounts as being that of a horse, which is a fun mental image. A sickly, donkey-sized wolf-horse chimera sulking around the swamp like it forgot which animal it was supposed to be. Also, it smells terrible. That's its calling card. Before you see it, you smell it. Think roadkill meets mildew meets why is the air kind of chewy. According to Seminole tradition, this stench wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a warning. If you were a Seminole child growing up near the Everglades, the rules were simple. Smell something foul in the rocks or trees, it's time to leave fast. Why? Because Long Ears doesn't bite, chase, or roar, it infects. You don't get mauled, you just get sick. And I don't mean a mild headache the next day sick. I mean possibly fatally ill sick. This thing is a walking outbreak, a creature that embodies disease itself. Contact with Long Ears could leave you with anything from...
Hey, how you doing, all? Decided I would stream and clean the area. There we go. Realized the old apparatus needed a going over. Might be getting some doings and ding. Oh, the guy was just talking about Florida legends, you know. Oh, it's hard to see this thing lights up in this amount of light. I was doing some dusting over here. ASMR. Yeah, that's what it is. It's ASMR. Man. Ugh. Been having a rough couple of days. Some of it due to like, you know, I said a while ago, like every like 3 months, there's like a big fuck up with my meds. Well, I finally got that happened. But another thing that has been going on, get in there. I haven't played Diablo in a while, actually. I mean, luckily, it's not one of the ones it's not like World of Warcraft where I have to keep paying for it. But anyway, point is, meds got fucked with. But the other thing that was like really fucking getting me down is realizing I've got my limitations. Emotionally, I got my, and what I really meaning to say is, fuck all these MAGA ass motherfuckers I keep running into on the Instagram. Fucking, I can't fucking take it. I can't take prolonged exposure to their fucking to their bullshit. You know, there are only so many times I can hear, you know, that individual children don't deserve lunches at school before I get dragged down, because I'm like, come on, man, that's so basic. Like every other fucking country in our economic bracket handles that. Why aren't we? And it's like, oh, because we worship capitalism. So if someone's not making money off of something, we devalue it. We completely devalue it. You know, someone's got to be making money. But the more I looked into that, the more I look into money and how it's made and who makes it and how and why, the more I realize, whoa, man, money is not the only worthy goal. It's not the only goal. Not even in capitalism, because sometimes the goal is just to keep capitalism going. Now, I'm not saying that, and I'm not even saying that judgmentally, you know, because I'm not talking about like the lies, the corruption, that kind of thing. I mean, sometimes an industry just exists to keep capitalism moving. For example, public transportation. Why does that exist? To keep capitalism moving. You know, it moves people. It doesn't necessarily, the transport of people does not necessarily make a lot of money. Except it does, but it's as an indirect result of people being able to move around quickly. You see what I mean? Like if you charge individuals for that, you're not going to make a lot of money. But if you pay for it, everyone benefits from it monetarily. You know, and that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. Another thing, healthcare. People do better when they're healthy. People work better when they're healthy. They do better work when they're healthy. You know, they're not as constantly stressed out when they're healthy. And actually, stress is actually bad for productivity. It's really good for short bursts, but the more sustained it is, the worse it gets. Like it diminishes quickly. There's a very quick fall off. You know, the effectiveness of stress is a very short half-life. Education. The point of education is not to make money. The point of education is to have, in capitalism, is to have an educated workforce. Because an educated workforce is better. It's always better. It's better for the system. The problem is it's not necessarily better for the people at the top of the system, but it's better for the system overall. It keeps the economy moving. It's as weird as it seems, American schools are unusually obsessed with stamping out deviation. It tries to nullify deviation more than it tries to educate. It tries to conform rather than teach the essential skills, which is stupid. It's dumb. You know, it's very, 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 very dumb. It's a very poor view. And this is and it's across the board. It's across the board. Public, private, they all do this. The only time where this doesn't happen in education is college. It doesn't happen as much in college by a huge degree. And it's one of the reasons why when people get to college, they kind of often they crash out. Because, hi, doggy. Because the elementary to high school system is a prison. College is not. And if you felt like you've been in a prison your entire life, if you don't have to at some point, you're not gonna. Because it's not about learning. It should be about learning, but ain't. Hi, dog. What are you scratching there? Are you looking for food? Because there's no food there. And if it is, I guarantee you really don't want it. What are you smelling? There's nothing there. Okay, he's just scratching shit. You know, anyway, my point is that education, you get a better economy with a better education. You know, all those countries that go from third world to like closing in on first world, you know what they did? They focused on education. Why do you think China is going to exceed us? Why do you think India is not very far behind? India was a third world motherfucking country in my lifetime. In my lifetime, it went from a third world nation to a major emerging economic force. And that is all due to the focus on education.
There is only one master, and his name is Satan.
In 6th grade, one did presentation about the sun turning into a big red, and the teacher told the class one was special and not to listen to me. I had her again in 7th, and the first lesson was on how the sun has phases.
Wait. So your project was how the sun turns into a red giant? Or a big red is in a wall of big red gum? And now I'm waiting for an answer like an idiot because it's not going to come for a few minutes. Hi, doggy. Yes. But like there are a lot of things that a country on the rise will do that a country in decline will not. And make no mistake, America's in decline. It's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah. The sun will become a red giant, but it won't go supernova. It's not big enough. It's not big enough to go supernova. But I do believe it turns into a red giant. Because I'm pretty sure they all do that. I believe our star will turn into what is known as a white dwarf. It will swallow up the solar system, but it won't go supernova. It won't turn into a black hole. It doesn't have enough mass. Hey, Johnny. But yeah, I went to a Christian elementary school. We only had science class once a month. Bastards. Oh, you were discussing 7th grade stuff in 6th grade, so they shut you down? Oh, no. You should have gotten an A. You should have gotten an A. Should have gotten an A and gotten a pat on the head. Yeah, countries on the rise invest in education, infrastructure, public transit. In short, invest in their people. Yeah. But after a certain point, a civilization gets lazy. And America's been lazy for a while. Not in terms of like individual laziness, but the system is lazy. You know, easier to have an uneducated workforce because that wins elections and helps ensure obedience, which, believe it or not, is not what you want. It's not what you want. Once that happens, you're on the once that starts happening, you're on the decline. You know, you're thoroughly on the decline. And I'm not actually sure. And I think that might be a chicken and the egg situation. I don't know which one comes first. You know, I think either can happen first. Yeah, I was really into science as a kid because it's like magic, right? One of the things I always hated was taking the magic out of science. And I don't mean like the mysticism. I mean like the, oh my God, that is crazy, you know, thinking about all these concepts. Instead, they have you like, it's really weird. Like in math, they focused on the process, and I'm like, no. You teach a process. You teach a process of mathematics, but you shouldn't be graded on it. You should be graded on the answer because some people can do math in their heads. Some people can do certain amounts of math in their heads, and some people can do certain types of math in their heads and not others. You shouldn't have to. Once you get to a certain grade, you shouldn't have to prove you know how to add. You know?
Oh, you have to show your work on a test.
What? And this whole idea of like grading everything you do and it counts towards your grade is ridiculous. I'm like, although, I mean, they weren't math classes, but I had some teachers that graded you based on the amount of work you turned in. They're like, every amount of work is important, so like, bring it in. And if they graded you on that, grades tended to not only tended to be high, but people tended to learn better. Because because at that point, there is no bad answer. You just naturally want to get a good answer. But if you're like, you come in, you're like, I did all this. You know, like that's more impressive. That's impressive to a teacher who's like all effort, your grade, you know, your effort is your grade. And I think with things like mathematics, actually, I think in almost all subjects that should be the case. I'm also not a big fan of homework. I think homework is just busy work. Which I don't agree with at all. I don't agree with at all. And when people are like, well, how do we keep kids from cheating? And I'm like, by paying attention. By paying attention. You have a responsibility to make sure the kids aren't cheating if you're the teacher. That's how it should go. Oh, but these kids are way too clever. Well, if they're smarter than the teacher, then why are they the teacher? Failed every test but passed algebra because I did the homework incorrectly, but I did it.
Incorrectly, but I did it.
See, I did the opposite. I was in math classes so bad they didn't teach PEMDAS. I didn't know what PEMDAS was until my 30s. You know, and also the school system is way behind. No, it's not just way behind. It went backwards. It went fucking backwards. Like, you know, a class that used to be a class that you could take in high school, sometimes even middle school in America? Typing. Apparently they don't do that anymore. I'm like, in today's world, typing should be mandatory. It should be mandatory. That should be a class you have to take. Why? Because everything we do is the fucking computer, the fucking keyboard. It's a basic skill. It's a basic school. It should be taught. But they took those classes away because they were electives. What are you fucking talking about? Electives. I'm also of the opinion that they should stop. That we should stop we really need to stop dividing schools into vocational and academic. We should bring vocational classes back into the main school. You know, absolutely. Like there could be high schools that specialize in it. You know, but they put everything into a vocational school, and so even that vocational education for isn't very good. You know, yeah, everyone should have vocational training in something. I agree. I absolutely agree on that. You know, whether it's wood shop, auto mechanics, electronics, you know, something where you're making something where you're making something, where you're working on or building something practical. Another class that should be absolutely fucking mandatory, art. Art should be absolutely mandatory. And by that, I include like everything that we think of, like, you know, painting, drawing, painting, sculpting, hell, in my opinion, writing, you know, fiction writing. Those should all be part of the arts. You should have to take one, because art gets to certain parts of a person, is a part of human experience that will last a lifetime. Those experiences last a lifetime, and they're very important. They're very important, and they make grades better. Music, sorry, that's the other one, music. Music, drama. Mandatory. Every semester, you should have to take an art class. Mandatory. Very important. Very important. I mean, now I can already hear all the conservatives going like, well, I don't want to have to pay for. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. School lunches. They should just have to do that. Just everyone gets lunch at fucking school. Yeah, I shouldn't have to pay for someone else's. Fuck you. Just fuck you. Fuck you, you piece of shit. No, you have to pay. Oh, I'm sorry. We have this big pile of money that we call taxes that we use to fucking give services to people that need it. Yeah, maybe you don't have a kid, but you might have medical problems. For that matter, another thing I think that should be that just should be a major government subsidy for death services. Government should help you with funeral expenses. I think I think physical education should also be mandatory. But I don't think sports should be mandatory. Sports is one type of physical education. Every school should have some sort of gym. Like, how cool would it be if there was a high school class you could take that was on swordsmanship? Or basic martial arts? Or hell, just using the fucking weight machines and shit. Yeah, Europeans, we need to stamp out inequality. Americans, we need to stamp out people who don't question authorities. Yeah. Whole system needs to be overhauled. How do I know this? I've seen education in other countries. All of this is doable. All of this is very doable. Even with America on the decline, very doable. Very doable. Yeah, high school martial arts. Why not? Media literacy. This should be one of the arts classes. Yeah, the old fight master for stage combat does that in Louisiana. He's based in Houston every summer as an extra credit for early college kids. Yeah. Hell, stage fighting. Stage fighting, or stage stunts. I mean, obviously they'd be a little low impact, but learning, how to take a fall, that should be an option. You telling me there wouldn't be a bunch of kids lining up to fucking learn stuntman shit? Yeah. But the biggest problem that we have is the American school system is way focused on punishment. Bastards. Terrible way to learn. Terrible way to learn. And school sports should be co-ed. I agree. Yeah, I agree. You want to be a gay transformer? Well, I mean, that's what our class is about. Oh, so when you get slapped in the chest, it makes an echo noise? Oh, ow. Do you have a pigeon chest? Like one that goes out? Or is it literally just the collarbone? Yeah. That's good stuff, Johnny. That's good stuff. Yeah, I think sports should be co-ed. There's no reason you can't do co-ed baseball, you know. Oh, just the collarbone curves slightly. Ah. Oh, Junji Ito's story. Wait, it's a cute little cat girl. I'm suspicious. I'm suspicious. All right, but I'll take the bait. Horror channel. All right, did you actually fucking put some Junji Ito shit? Is this gonna be some? Oh, God damn it! God damn it! It's the Snail Man story, but it's Nancy and Sluggo. I knew it. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. You boys are stronger. Yeah. This should be. Yeah, it should totally be by weight classing. It should be totally by weight class. Like, for example, like my friend Sarah Dunn, the Queen of Trash. That girl is big. And by big, I mean mainly tall. She's taller than I am. She's like a good 6'1". You know, and she's always been like strongly built. Boy. Like that girl was a wrestler for a while. You know, like and there are girls like that. There's some girls that are just big, tough girls, man. Just let them. I don't know what else to say. Just let them. Teach the boys a lesson, too. You know, teach the boys a lesson, too. It's like, oh, shit. You know? Not all. Yeah, it turns out a lot of girls aren't small and helpless after all.
Oh, but it's not fair. We're not supposed to hit women.
Well, you're not supposed to be hitting people in the face in high school boxing either. So there you go. Besides, like, I think it will naturally select itself out, you know, but because, I mean, think of the one where gender really don't matter. It really don't matter. Martial arts. Most of the martial arts, your gender doesn't matter that much. You know, it might in the beginning, but it evens out pretty fucking quickly. Have you seen the demo for the superhero game Dispatch? No, I have not. I'm not really into superhero games for some reason. Queen Trash is really cool. Yeah. She's moving to Los Angeles. Or at least the greater LA area. You know, I don't know where. She's probably gonna end up like Torrance or something. But people are a lot more, when encouraged, people are a lot more interesting than you believe, than you think. Riggs, it was boring. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, man. You know, do you mean what? Do you mean dispatch? Hey, RILM. Oh, shit, RLM. I was going to ask you a question, but I forgot what it was. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with Philippines. Oh, yeah. How is your exploration into Philippine shamanism and mysticism going? Yeah. Whenever students can't do something, they'll prove you wrong. Your students will prove you wrong. That's how you know. When they exceed your expectations, that's how you know you're a decent teacher. Because that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be preparing them to move beyond you. We are what they go. We are what they. What was it from Last Jedi? We are what they outgrow. You know, that's the point. That's the point. Oh, we'll have to wait until the summer. Well, I mean, it's here. Summer's here. You know, like you're coming up on the end of the school year, I'm pretty sure. Even in well, you're like in Canada, right? And Canada does the summer break just like the United States does, doesn't it? Yep. Okay. Yeah, because I know some countries break the school year into break the. They break it up. They break it up into like. I think it's broken up into thirds. Like, no, it's not thirds. They're not quite enough months for that. No, wait, yeah, no. I think. How does Japan break it up? Japan breaks it up by more than 2. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you're trying to write a story for a Filipino short magazine. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. My favorite Filipino, like, monster is, I can't remember which one is the Filipino version, but they're kind of essentially the same. The monogonal or the pananggalan. You know, vampire woman that like detaches her head and her organs fucking trail behind her as she flies through the sky. No, not the prefectures. Like the way they divide the school year. Like they have a more even method of dividing up the school year so that you get like. So it's basically instead of like 3 months off in summer, it's like you go to school, you have a month off, you go to school, you have a month off, you go to school, you have a month off. Like Taiwan does that. The monogonal, yeah. I forget which one the Penanggalan or Penanggalan. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. I've only seen it spelled. I don't know which one that comes from. That might be Thai or Indonesian. Let's look that up. Oh, God damn it. The Penanggalan. Okay. Penanggalan. Versus most Penanggalan, known as Hantu Penanggal. Vampire myth. Malaysia. It's Malaysian. Okay. The Penanggalan is Malaysian. The Penanggalan is the one where it's like just the head, and the Monogonal is like the upper torso. Yeah, actually it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Penanggalan. The Penanggalan. Penanggalan. Yeah, the Penanggalan. The Penanggalan is was featured is Mystics of Bali. The Penanggalan is the one where it's the head detaches from the body and the organs trail behind. The Monogonal is the upper torso. It detaches from the lower torso and flies around. The Monogonal tends to have bat wings, whereas the Penanggalan, their lungs unfurl and become wings. Malaysia's next to Singapore. Yeah, I have a friend who's Malaysian. Like Malaysian from Malaysia. She's, I think, half Malaysian, half Chinese ethnically. Yeah, that's another thing. When everyone tells you, oh, well, fucking Asian countries are all single. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. No. No, they are not. The races that you are taught to see as part of Western society are not the ethnicities you are taught to see as part of Eastern society. They are very different. They are very different. Jack's half Chinese. Yeah, I'm half Chinese. I'm half cook. I am half evil white devil and Chinese. The majority of the evil white devil is Irish. And I don't say that lightly because, like, everyone's fucking Irish, if you know what I mean. But I mean, like, for real. Like, for real. Fully half of, like, my Caucasian ancestry comes from Ireland. The other half is just Western European. Is basic Western European. You know, including British. You know, America, it's a weird place. This who has 2 thumbs and lost 10 pounds in 2 days. Food poisoning isn't fun. Oh, geez. Oh, that's terrible, Joe. Yeah. I'm half white devil. You know. Yeah, the Chinese Filipino community is its own thing. Yeah. Absolutely. Fucking absolutely. Tiger King Mortuary Edition. I've only seen the first episode because I think that's the only one that was available when I started watching it. As in, okay, so are you talking about like people who are like half Chinese, half Filipino living in the Philippines, or people who are fully Chinese ethnically living in the Philippines? Do I like looking Asian? Most days. Most days I like looking Asian. I wish I was prettier. I wish I looked the way I did when I was 19. You know, but I actually do like being part Asian. You know, I identify with being Asian more than I identify with being white, because that's the way whiteness works, you know, in America. You know, there's not really a lot to like latch on to. Like, even though I am more Irish than like the average white person, I can't really claim Irish. I can claim Irish ancestry, but I can't claim being Irish, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm too far removed from that culture. Oh, thank you, Johnny. He says, boo, you fabulous. Aww. I also, Sue, I don't take exception to that. I don't know how other people would react to it, but like, I mean, if it was like a question I was asked all too often, it would start to grate on me. But just asking, generally not. Riggs 83, I'm not homosexual, but I want an Asian boyfriend. Okay, maybe a little gay. Yeah, I'm technically Irish since my great-great-grandfather immigrated from Ireland to the United States with his wife. Both my great-grandfather and great-grandmother came to America from Ireland. Yeah, I saw the first like 3 episodes of Ethernaut. Boy, I hated that first episode. Like that first episode, Jesus Christ, that was starting to grate on me. But the second episode I thought was really good, and to the point where I found myself going like, why didn't we just start with the second episode and then tell this first episode in flashback? You know, we should have started with him walking through the city and fucking coming across that bus full of people. Like, that should have been the first fucking scene. Sun Wizard, I'm full albino spawn of Satan. Oh, you're an albino. But for some reason, a girl I say I look like Asian for some reason. When you say full albino spawn of Satan, do you mean like you're Caucasian albino? Because Asians have albinos too. So do black people. They're black albinos. They wanted to replicate the comic as much. Is that the way the comic starts? Like, I would have moved it around because, like, that first episode takes way too long. It takes way too long for him to become the Ethernaut. You know, and it's not like the OA. Like in the OA, that backstory is really super fucking interesting. But still, even with the OA, what do they start with? They start with her jumping off the bridge. Yeah, I would have changed the series, the sequence of events. One wouldn't have necessarily changed the events themselves, but I would have changed the sequence of events in order to make it a little more exciting television. Not albino, just a joke. Oh, okay. You think that girl was high? Well, I mean, maybe do you have epicanthic folds? You know, because it's rare, but some white people do have epicanthic folds. I mean, it usually means that there's like Asian ancestry somewhere way back. You know, like come from them Mongol invasions and shit. Eastern European from mom's side, not entirely sure. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, but I like to be very, very clear about my own Irish heritage because I'm like everyone, like I said, everyone claims it, whether or not they have a right to it. A lot of white people do that. And I'm like, no. Like, both my great-grandparents were from Ireland. From my grandfather's side, from my mother's father's side, they were both from Ireland. The greatest insult to adaptation is mindless replication. No, I think that's one of them. I think that's one of the big. That's a one potential insult. But like, there are worse. I've seen them. The irony of having German and Polish ancestors. Oh, that ain't irony. That's history crashing through your veins. That's history crashing through your veins, man. Like Poland gets invaded on such a regular basis. It's kind of amazing that it still represents a distinct ethnic group. You know, you know what I mean? Invaded by Russia, invaded by Mongolia, invaded by, you're just like, oh my God, it averages about every 50 years, like Poland is invaded. And I mean like conquered, like fully invaded and held for multiple years and possibly decades. But at the same time, the Polish people are still the Poles. They've still managed to do that, which is fucking mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Poland has held on to its own history in a way that, like, we need to be studying that shit. Holy crap. But then again, they studied that shit. They'd learn about underground schools. They'd learn about resistance. They'd learn about sabotage. That's one of the things that people, when, you know, it's funny that we tell Polak jokes because I find, you know, or at least we used to, because I was like, you look into their history and you're like, oh my God, the Poles are awesome. You know? Like on the surface, they'll take a lot of shit, but just underneath that is a big fuck you. Is a big fuck you. Poland will always be Poland. Kiss my ass. Gateway to the West. Gateway to the motherfucking West. Does that make the Philippines the Asian Poland? In a weird way, yes, in a weird way. But more than that, the Philippines are kind of the Asian Mexico. Which makes a certain amount of sense, because it was a Spanish colony for so long. Yeah, why do you think the Poland has a phoenix for the national symbol? Exactly. Fucking exactly. I also like the Polish girls tend to have big tits. Apparently, when I was doing the Count, that reminds me, apparently when I was doing the Count Jackula show, for some reason, one demographic, it only lasted for like a month. It only lasted for a month. But for some reason, the show's always been like at 20% female audience, you know, but for some reason there was a month where it was like 40%, and that extra 20% was apparently all women from Poland. That's what the metrics said. And I'm just sitting there like, what? That's a weirdly specific fucking thing. And I was hanging out at a club and I ran into a bunch of guys, bunch of European guys, guys from the EU, you know, and I told them that. I was like, yeah, for some reason my show was really popular with Polish women for, you know, age like 19 to 40 for a little while. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I'm like, how does that make sense? You're like weird, loud goth guy. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, what? Wait, that makes sense? All right, so tell me, is it true that like Polish women tend to have bigger boobs? Because, like, you know, I mean, I can make this work for me, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you better learn how to cook pierogi. Oh, baby, I'm ahead of you. Ahead of you on that shit. Polish goth daddy for some strange reason. You know, I can do it. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, it was so strange. I mean, I didn't mind. I'm delighted by this. I'm just like you might as well have told me like, yeah, you're big in Zimbabwe, and I'd have been like, wait, what? If you hook up with a Polish girl and start dancing with her, are you technically pole dancing? Hmm. Good one. Good one. Buttered onions. Oh, dude, no, pierogies are awesome. Pierogies are great. One of the things that I thought was really funny about the pierogi is that the Russians have their own, which is the chiburik, but it's huge. Like a normal pierogi is about like that big. The chiburik is like that. But it's the same ingredients. It's basically the same stuff. Tom Waits big in Japan. Is that the one you're thinking of? But I'm big in Japan. I'm big in Japan. Oh yes, I'm big in Japan. Because Tom Waits is amazing. Oh, Alphaville? Okay, let's see how much we can. Okay, that's probably about all I can do that. Don't eat street food. Man, you ain't Asian. You ain't Asian, Joe Care. Oh, out of coffee. I think I'm going to go fix that. I'll be right back. Hello. Yeah. What's the latest? Well, at least I figured they would last. All right, I'm back. So, what do you think of that Elon Musk and Trump fucking slap back? That's got to see some of the. This is, I mean, this shit's funny to me. So Musk and Trump are like going at each other on social media. I mean, it's getting crazy. I mean, holy shit.
Travel this whole world of arse from Barnsley to Peru.
Yeah, big ass popcorn boys. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
I've seen unicorns in Burma and a Yeti in Nepal.
Like Elon Musk is like, Trump is totally in the Epstein files. And I'm like, well, yeah, I knew that.
But I've never met a nice South African.
Yeah, Trump and Musk are fighting. They're fighting. The girls are fighting. Ooh. Trump told Musk to go back to Africa.
Less than 4 weeks wait. I had lunch with Rowan Atkinson when he paid and wasn't late. I know a public swimming bath.
AOC said the girls are fighting?
I know a guy who got a job straight after leaving school.
AOC, possible future president of the United States, in my opinion, also says the girls are fighting.
Now he's never met a nice South African, and that's not bloody surprising, man, because we're a bunch of talentless murderers who smell like baboons.
I've had a close encounter of the 22nd kind. That's when an alien spaceship disappears up your
Look, Riggs, we gotta take our wins where we can get them. Okay.
I've even heard a decent song by Paul McCartney's Wings. I've seen a flying pig.
Watching everything collapse fairly music while the crypto bros scramble. Wait. The crypto bros are scrambling. Has the first holy war been declared?
I met the Loch Ness Monster and he looks like Fred Astaire. At the BBC in London, he's the chief commissioner. I know a place in Glasgow which is bright with daffodillies. I met the man.
So how will we know when things will truly collapse?
I've had a nice pot noodle, but I've never had
hindsight.
A poodle, and I've never met a nice South
Hindsight.
African.
Now he's never met a nice South African, and that's not bloody surprising, man, because we've never met one either, except for Brighton, and he's emigrated to Paris. Yes, he's quite a nice South African, and he's hardly ever killed anyone, and he's not smelly at all, that's why they put him in prison.
No, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Fucking enjoy this shit. It's gonna be great. Guys, a bunch of bastards anyway. I wish I'd see on Twitter by Trump and Musk blocked. Oh man. Look up on Blue Sky, look up the hashtag let them fight. It's kind of amazing. Schadenfreude, my friends. Hey. We got to get our Freude where we can get it. Better way of putting it, nobody cares about your pain when you're the bad guy. Alien versus Predator. Yeah. Well, no, I'm no, we'll win. This is great. The first major schism. Kira pinned me a meme on Discord. Oh. This is a picture of Elon Musk and Trump fucking staring at each other, and Joe Biden like going, man, that actually fucking, like, one of the hatred of Joe Biden on the conservative side goes to some really bizarre lengths. Like, oh my God, they covered up that he was sick while he was president. And I'm like, and? Well, it's a cover-up, man. Well, wait. A cover-up that he was sick? Okay. I mean, isn't that what everyone does? I mean, that doesn't... That's not much of a mystery as to why they would do that. You know, but no, it's cover-up. It's all a cover-up. Like, wait, his illness is a cover-up, or like they covered up his illness? What are you talking about? And they don't even know. They just know, like, oh, Joe Biden, cover up. Yeah, the grasping at straws is weird. It's like, well, bitch ain't president no more. He was voted out. If the election is to be believed, which, to be fair, I'm not sure it is, he's voted out democratically. So why do you care? Oh, they found coke in the White House. It was Hunter Biden's. Who the fuck? What? Who the fuck cares? He's not president anymore. Why? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, like if they had literally just said, well, I don't care, I'd have been like, all right, fair enough. You know, like, all right, you don't care. I don't care if the president, I don't really care if the president's high either. As long as he's making good decisions. Yeah, they need a scapegoat. Without that, they have nothing to blame on their shortcomings. Yeah, but it's so weird. The scapegoating is so weird because you're like, but motherfucker ain't in charge. You know, like, the scapegoating is so blatant. It's so blatant. You know, and it's unnecessary. Just yell Wolverines and trigger them into a nostalgia loop. Oh, yeah, fucking Red Dawn. Yeah, Russians are going to invade and they're going to start with Wisconsin. You know, like, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, of course. They turned politics into a fandom. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's some insight. Yes. Biden's their scrappier Jar Jar. Yeah. But it's like blaming Scrappy Doo for the second Scooby-Doo movie, which he's not in. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. And I'm like, yeah. It's just so weird. And the other thing that is so weird, like, I'm never getting over the fact that MAGA is against school lunches. Like, that kind of just tells you everything. It's like, we don't need to feed children. Why don't we feed children? That sounds horrible. That sounds terrible to be against feeding children.
Oh, I shouldn't have to pay for it.
What? Like that's your takeaway. My taxes are too high because we're feeding children. What? Oh yeah, a lot of people go after him for writing the Scooby-Doo movies. Yeah, they do. They do. I just cured my nausea by projectile vomiting into the kitchen sink like 5 times, so I got that going for me. Oh, jeez. Ouch. Stomach. Yeah, I don't get it. So another thing that's going on with me is I got my vision checked and I got fitted for glasses. I want free childcare, but I don't want to pay for it or feed the kids. Yeah. It's just like, no, why don't we just... It's weird because I find myself going like, I understand why we have a big military. But we can solve these problems and still have the biggest military in the world. We could solve these problems and still have like the top 3 air forces. Projectile vomiting, normal reaction to Trump and Musk's sex life. Yeah, the military is so big, we can't track all the money going into it. So it's like, all right, well, you get a little less. You get a little less. Because here's the thing about the American military. It guards trade routes. Guards trade routes. Makes capitalism work. Makes trade work. So I understand why you want a big one. But at the expense of what? Why at the expense of everything else? I mean, that's something that's worth saying. I mean, not that we don't. No, well, okay, so here's the thing. That's why we're in alliance with other countries. You know, it's like if we feel like there's slack, they can pick it up. Why not use that to our advantage? Oh, no, it's because no, it's because Republicans have basically convinced people that they shouldn't have to pay taxes at all. Because they don't want taxes going to black people. They attempted to recruit my autistic brother who has Velcro shoes. Oh, geez. Yeah, well, MAGA don't care. As long as libs are suffering, as long as other people are suffering, MAGA's happy. They don't even care if it's their own children. MAGA is the worst of America. Absolutely the worst. And that's why I don't feel the need to continue talking with them. I want them to talk amongst themselves and only themselves. Why? Because they're so intolerant. It will eventually lead to things like Musk versus Elon, and they will fracture. They will crack apart, and they will no longer be the political force that they used to be. See how that works? We non-MAGA are their lifeline. Fuck them. Pull the lifeline up. They don't get it no more. Have them pull themselves up by the bootstraps. And they will collapse. That's why when people are like, oh, these are necessary complications. Oh, but we don't want it. No, fuck it. No, fuck them. Fuck them. I'm sorry. Got the cord. And it's all emotional. It'll all be emotional. That's the other thing. What is the best of America? The best of America is the America that works for the betterment of its people. Just like everything. The best of America is a million unsung heroes that try to keep everything going in a decent direction. That understands that understand we are all in this together. Oh, thank you, cute little cat girl. Yeah. MAGA's the rising tide of madness. It will eventually break. Let it. It will break a lot faster if you stop trying to save them, because it is that impulse that they are using against us. Why, despite everything, do they want to engage? Because they hate each other. The minute Trump dies, you know what the next thing that happens is? They start arguing over which is the true Trumpy MAGA way. They'll descend into holy wars. And given the nature of MAGA, that holy war is not likely to spread into sectarian violence. It will be harsh language and anger on social media. Because they're old. They'll fight amongst themselves. Absolutely they will. They all think they're right. You could predict that just like you could predict Musk and Trump eventually coming to blows. They will eat each other. That is their ethos. They'll do it. They'll do it. We just have to stop engaging with them. And that process is well underway. This last decade has been the decade of the trickster. It's a decade of the con man. Decade of the big con. Decade of the monorail episode from The Simpsons. Yeah, free healthcare and UBI. Why not? Why not? Are you saying, Jack, a house divided cannot stand? Exactly. House divided cannot stand. So let them try to stand. Let them try to stand without us. We don't even need to let them starve to death, literally. Just keep this, let them stay in their little bubble. Stop trying to reach across. They will eat each other. They will eat each other. UBI, Universal Basic Income. Yeah. Sit back, watch the snake eat its own tail. Ugh. Oh, yeah, I'd love a mass transit system for America. That would be awesome. That would be great. Oh, Valdriant, how you doing? Hey, Valdriant, do you want to come on and chat for a while? Maybe we could talk about stuff. Also, if you guys get free healthcare and UBI, then I won't have a reason to feel superior. You Canadian. 51st state. That's not going to happen. You're talking, you'd have to take, that's a war, man. You can only accomplish that through war. And then what would it get you? Not a lot. Not a lot. Not that Canada isn't worth something, but it's worth more as Canada. So you can chat about stuff as long as people don't mind my face being bare. I think that's fine. Knucklehead. Yeah. Knucklehead. Okay, yeah, Valdrian, let me just set things up. I'll send you a link on Discord. I knew I was going to get it. I knew I was going to get it. Copy invite. Okay. All right, and sent. Let me focus right. Here we go. Oh, I should hold on, I should let me set this up over here. No. Okay, guess name. Oh, whoops. Did I do the wrong one? I did the wrong one. Okay. All right, I'm going to be muttering for a minute here. Don't mind me. Do. Put on a happy face. Okay. Now, where's that name? Oh, here we go. Okay, and now we wait. And now we play the waiting game. If Canada, let's see, Jay Tilton asks a question. If Canada is whoever did become state, wouldn't they dominate the House of Representatives? Oh, if they did, yeah, they would totally dominate the House of Representatives. They would also dominate the Senate. You're talking about increasing the population of the United States by a third. Let's say, actually, probably even more than that. Like, what is the population of Canada? Population of Canada. 1, 2, yeah, by about a quarter. No, less than that. it'd be less than that, but like, let's see, one. But it would. But if Canada put up a unified front, they would be the largest voter bloc. Period. Representative voter bloc. Period in Congress. Period. Like you could not dominate them. Okay. Hey Val.
Hi, beep boop.
Beep boop. How's it going?
It's as well as one can be after euthanizing a pet.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh. What kind of
It
pet
was like-
was it?
My cat, it was Romeo. We euthanized him on Tuesday. He had fallen to he just the past 2 weeks just dementiaed out. So it
Oh
was
no.
okay,
Poor kid.
time to take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Was
But,
it?
I was holding real good for a while until that night when I had to fucking go to bed, and I was like, "That's a panic attack. That's a panic attack. That's a panic attack." You know,
Well, I mean,
kind of thing.
this may sound weird,
Yeah.
but was it a good? Was it a good? Was it a good death?
Was it a good
Was
cat?
it a good death?
Oh yeah, he my husband and I were talking about it, and it was just could we have waited until he was absolutely 100% miserable, and continue to degenerate because he wasn't going to get better, or just do it now while there's some level of lucidity? And we both agreed that the doing it now was more important.
Yeah, I
So-
can see that. Yeah, we
And
had
then,
to
I
put,
mean,
when we had to put Comet down.
yeah,
That hurt because we that hurt in particular because that was our landlord Chris's cat, and we were very good friends with him, so it was like, oh well, now everything's gone.
yeah, he
You
was our
know.
COVID cat.
Mm.
Yeah, but one of the things is that he was definitely older than what the SPCA told us. They told us when we got him, he was 7. He was probably closer to 10 or 11 when we got him. So his
Mm.
age on paper was 11, but he was probably closer to 16.
Yeah,
in
let's. Oh
reality.
God,
Mhm.
let's see. Yeah, my cat's about 10,
Yeah.
11 at this point. We got him before he was a year old.
Yeah, and 10-year-old cats shouldn't be having dementia.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a little young for kitty
Yeah.
dementia. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but sorry for everything now, but so
Hey, it's okay. We were earlier. We were way earlier, way in the beginning. We were discussing Florida folklore.
You want me to go get my folklore book that I have and see if there's anything fun in there?
Now let's hold off for a little bit
Okay.
because we don't want to just be reading on stream.
That is true.
You know.
That is true.
Although in general, I'm usually really up for that kind of stuff because you're the one that keeps giving me details on the Rougarou.
The Rougarou, he
The
gonna get your
Rougarou.
toes.
Yeah. So it's so is the toe eating thing just kind of a fairy tale element that parents say?
It's just the fairy tale element. The way that it kind of goes is if you're a bad Catholic during Lent, you'll become a Rougarou. And that's the gist of it. That's the Creole Louisiana version. The Métis up here in Canada have a different version of it. But yeah, it's
What separates the Rougarou from the werewolf?
it's definitely steeped in Catholic folklore, I think, is the big
This is the big
French-
difference.
yeah, very specifically continental Catholic, colonial Catholicism in the Americas specifically. There are some French things in there.
Well, yeah, it's a Frenchy
yeah.
word.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
it's obviously related to loup-garou.
yes, they're obviously related. It's just the
You
dirty
caging
French
it up.
way.
You caging it up. Comes out loup-garou. You know.
We Cajun that shit up. We Creoled that shit up. We Métis that shit up. But yeah. Oh, so fun fact. So for a lot of people who don't know, from you don't know, I've been balls deep in my genealogy, hyper fixated.
Oh,
on it,
yeah?
right? And I, from Louisiana, I'm Cajun, I'm Creole, I'm all that good stuff. And here in Vancouver, I was getting my hair done. Hi, I have orange hair now. And not my stylist, but my the owner of the salon, was talking about how he was French Canadian and shit like that. And he's like, oh, like let me put like some of your relatives' name in my ancestry and see if we're related. And so I gave him like my great grandmother's last name, and he's like, yeah, she's my eighth cousin. And I was like, what?
Wait, so
So
you were related to your hairdresser from like?
yes, in Vancouver because
Oh my God.
he's French Canadian. And this all came up because we were talking about how I'm actually related to the Pope as well.
The new
And
one?
Beyonce. Yes, and Beyonce.
I wait, like directly or like?
Yeah, we have common ancestors. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Because, the Pope they talk about how he's like from Chicago and stuff like that, but his grandparents are from New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his
Okay.
grandparents are from New Orleans.
Yeah, so if you were question,
Mm-hmm.
so like you're mostly Cajun, right?
I'm Cajun and Louisiana Creole.
And
Yeah.
Louisiana Creole. Okay, so
Mhm.
like did you grow up in the New Orleans area?
No, I grew up in central Louisiana,
Okay.
but very specifically in the most northern part of of what's known as Acadiana, which is Cajun country.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Is that I keep thinking of the word like Pontchartrain.
Lake Pontchartrain is in the German parishes north of New Orleans, essentially.
Oh, okay. So that's like just north of New Orleans.
Yeah, if you look
Okay.
at Louisiana in the boot, like if you see the boot in the corner, like where the boot becomes, there's this little parish called Avoyelles. That's where I'm from.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in the middle, in that part of the boot. So
Okay.
the boot.
And that's where Acadiana is.
That's the northernmost most parish area. If you look at a map and see like Acadiana, it'll show you like where most of it's concentrated, and then where more.
All right, let's get real stereotypical here. You ever have a wrestle
Yeah.
gators?
I have never wrestled an alligator before, but I've eaten them.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh God. Now I'm trying to remember the one Cajun phrase that I learned at one point, but I cannot remember the
Now,
whole
which
thing.
one?
Which one?
I could teach you. I could
Okay,
teach you a
I think
couple.
it's Labo roulé.
Les bon temps roulé? Like
Yes.
roll? That's the easy one. That's
Yeah,
the one
yeah, yeah.
everyone knows.
That's
Yeah.
but I still haven't mastered it.
Yeah.
You know.
The one I will say like randomly, and here's the thing, I mask my accent.
No, yeah. The other one I know is La Yap.
Oh, a lanyap?
Yeah.
It's a little something extra.
Yeah, a little something
Yeah.
extra. Yeah.
Um,
Now, my question with La Yap is, when you say a little extra, does that mean anything that you could put that phrase to?
Like, it mostly comes with food.
Okay.
But like, a little something extra. Like
Okay, so if you're talking about
yeah.
a friend, and then you say, well, you use the word la yap in that sentence, there's that kind of like,
The way that you pronounce it drives me crazy, but okay.
Yeah, well, I'm bad at.
I know.
I'm bad at.
That's what you get from being from California.
Francophone. Yeah, I'm bad at francophone sounds.
Yeah.
You know, like apparently my German accent's all right. Like it sounds like a proper
Okay.
German accent, but like my French is terrible.
Fair.
My French accent's awful.
And then I'm twangy French, so
I can't do any of them.
yeah, I'm a twangy French.
You know.
The one that I kind of use still, like I say meh all the time, mais, and that directly translates to just but in French, but so we'll say meh, I don't know,
As
or
in,
like but.
As opposed to your rear end.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And then the other thing I like to say when somebody's being like really mean, or if I see something I don't like, I say ça c'est vilain, which is just like that's ugly. Like, ça c'est vilain.
Villain.
So,
I wonder if that's where villain comes from.
maybe, but I don't know. Don't ask me how to spell any of these phrases, by the way, because they do not look like normal francophone on paper.
Yeah. I think my fake Appalachian accent is probably way better than my fake Cajun accent.
I mean, that's fair, but your best friend is from Tennessee, so you can just
Yeah. I could
listen to him all the time.
yeah.
Yeah. I can get a little bit more twangy and a little bit more not from Louisiana, but I don't do that one that often. Um, my code switching gets real fun because I'm autistic as fuck too, right? So I will just pick up how other people talk, like
Gotcha.
as a defense mechanism.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So right now I'm a little bit more vocal Pacific Northwest fry because it's what I've been around. But when I talk about Louisiana, it just comes out. Like
Yeah.
somebody said, if the accent comes out, you should be careful because I'm about to get mad. Or,
Yeah. My Chinese accent is very weird. I don't speak Chinese very well or hardly at all. But I know enough of the language. I've heard enough of the language to know that my accent is weird because it is a combination of both Mandarin and street Taiwanese.
Gotcha.
And so it's one of those, if you know which way I learned a word, you can figure it out. But it kind of be like someone going from deep Southern kind of this accent to something like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
fair.
oh, I understand it, but like, whoa,
This
that's
is the
right.
same language, but is it?
Yeah. But I use
Yeah.
like two major different accents when I try to speak it, and some people are like, "Bleh," like that's odd, Georgia's not so bad. Being from Georgia, not so bad, Jack. Pretty accurate. I've spent time in Georgia.
I love Georgia, oddly enough.
Georgia.
I was in Georgia
I
for a
mainly
wedding.
hung out in Atlanta. Because I'm an urban environment kind of guy.
I like Jay Tilton. I don't want to talk to you, bruh. I don't want to talk to you about this argument about crawfish and crayfish, and it's some goddamn crawfish. Okay, just not. This is the food of my people.
Oh my
It's
god,
culture.
I saw the funniest crawfish fucking like video where
Is
these
it the
girls,
little chef one?
it's like these girls are like
Okay.
eating on like a patio, and like a crayfish comes up. They don't know what it was. It's kind of a small one. It's only about like that big.
Yeah.
And it raises its claws and they flip out because they've never seen anything like that before. They're like,
just a
what the
tiny
hell is it? I'm
lobster.
like,
it's a little baby lobster.
it's
fine.
yeah. It's essentially what crayfish are. What crawfish are, little lobsters.
Little mud bugs, and they're fucking delicious, bro. Listen, time out. We gotta stop because I haven't. The last time I was in Louisiana was in November, and it's not crawfish season in November, so I couldn't be having no crawfish. And I might not be able to go back to Louisiana for like 4 more fucking years. So can we not like? I'm like, I just want some crawfish because I can do everything else up here. We can make gumbo, we can make red beans and rice because they're just normal, simple ingredients.
Yeah,
right? I can
yeah.
make onions, bell peppers, make sausages, chicken, all that kind of stuff. My parents can ship me Tony Chachere's and Sloppy Mamas. It's fine. Okay, but I can't get fucking crawfish up here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get crawfish in California.
Yeah, like I can go to the Asian grocers and get like frozen crawfish shells, which are really good for things like etouffees and fettuccines and things like that. But
Yeah.
I want give me like 20 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
And that I have to peel myself with my hands and let it get it gross.
I grew up near Baltimore. Unless we're talking Alaskan king crab, no other crab impresses me.
Fair.
Yeah, jambalaya. Actually, okay, question.
What's up?
What all goes in jambalaya? Or is it a big mix of, throw that in there?
Yeah, so like essentially whenever we made jambalaya at my parents' house, it was because it's a rice dish, and you can have the red one that has tomato in it, which I don't like because I don't eat tomatoes anymore.
Oh, I love tomatoes.
I'm allergic to tomatoes. And the other one is just the white, but mostly it's kind of like your leftover supper meat that you've had over the week you need to do
Right,
something. It's
right.
not enough to make one meal. So it's like, so we got some sausage here, we have some ground meat here, we've got some pork chops here. Let's just like put it all in a pot with some rice and some juice and just eat
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
fucking yeah, it's fucking
Something
delicious.
something I can't get here, and it pisses me off because I got to make it myself, and I don't have a lot of opportunity to do it
Hmm.
because I got to make a big batch of it all at once, and that means I got to set aside not only the time to prepare the meat, but then smoke it, which is tasso.
Oh yeah,
I don't get
yeah.
there's no tasso in California as far as I
You
can
can't
tell.
get yeah. We
Yeah.
yeah.
Now
Tasso's
it's
pretty.
cheap-ish to
Hmm.
make. I mean, you're still spending $40, but then
Yeah.
you're making like you ain't gonna not eat all that. Um, but man, it pisses me off because there's sometimes I'm eating something, particularly like in the morning, where I'm like, oh man, some tasso could be really good with it. God damn it, I don't got that, and I haven't sampled enough tasso to know if I'm even doing it right.
Hmm.
All I know is that you cure the meat and then dry it out a little bit, cover that shit in andouille seasoning, let it sit for a few days, and then smoke it for like 12 hours.
Um, Sino Thog asked me what goes in a crab boil. Okay, other than the crustaceans, um, you can put red potatoes, sausage, corn, and onion. That's it. Or like some people put okra. I'm not an okra fan, but you can put tomatoes, corn, onion,
Yeah. So
and some smoked sausage.
I made a thing out of rice, kidney beans, and andouille sausage and seasoning, and I was like, this is kind of close to jambalaya, although I feel some shit is missing. I did not use the Holy Trinity, you know.
Yeah, I hate celery, so I usually
I
forego
know what you mean.
celery.
I
And
know
I
what you mean.
replace celery for just double garlic because
Mm.
I fucking love garlic. I'm a garlic
Mm-hmm.
girly. Like, but like for me,
Garlic's
like
amazing.
celery, when it's raw, it's too tough for me to eat. And then when it's not raw, like I just don't like that celery smell, texture, taste. And so it actually like ruins things for me. And my mom also hated celery, so that's probably why I didn't eat a lot of it in our cooking. Um, but which, by the way, my now that my dad is retired, my mom does no more cooking. Like my dad does all the cooking because before when they got married and before like she ended up staying home to be with us and my dad went to work and he worked with the post office for almost 40 years. Like she did the cooking because she's the one that's home and stuff. But like now that he's home, he does the cooking.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta
And my
ask
dad
you
does
since
actually cook
since we
better.
brought up garlic.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
gotta
garlic.
ask. Have you seen
Yeah.
Sinners?
Not yet. I'm just kind of waiting for it to come on
Ooh.
the. I just got a 4K TV.
Oh,
And
okay,
so
okay.
like finally, like my first one, like 65 inches. It makes me very happy because I could see the TV. I'm blind. Um,
Mm.
so
Yeah, I
uh,
just got fitted for glasses. In a couple of weeks, I will get my first pair of glasses ever.
nice. I need surgery on my eyes to fix them. Either a cornea transplant or another or two different other procedures put together, one or the other. But I plan on watching Nosferatu and
Oh,
Sinners on it
Nosferatu's
like
so
back to
good.
we went to the
Those
theater to
movies are
see it.
so good.
Like we went to the movie theater to see it, but they had the volume turned up so high in that movie theater that
Oh.
I started to get like a straight up fucking migraine, and I was like, we gotta leave. I can't actually watch this movie. That happened to me when we saw Godzilla -1 as well. Like,
Oh. Is it that
yeah,
theater?
no, there were two different theaters. So we saw Godzilla in IMAX, but I think we were just like right next to like the speakers.
Oh, yeah.
And then I don't know what it was with this one, like why it was mixed so high in that theater. And I went and I asked people, it's like, was Nosferatu like really fucking loud for everyone? They're like, no. So I just think very specifically like that
Mm.
was that theater was done, and we got refunded for the tickets and ended up seeing Gladiator instead, because we just we only go see movies on the cheap movie nights on Tuesdays, so we
Gotcha.
just see whatever's fucking available, kind of thing. Um, and yeah, and Gladiator was available that day, and we saw that one, and we're like, okay, and Gladiator was what it was. Like, I'm not gonna be mad about seeing what I saw in that movie.
Oh, someone brought up Del Toro's upcoming Frankenstein movie on Netflix. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh man, that looks amazing.
we should have a watch party and a react
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, but like, yeah. So you should see Sinners.
I know I should
So
see
you should see
Sinners.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the list. It's like, oh man, all these vampire shows and movies coming out. I wonder what's happening right now.
No.
Could it be a recession?
Yeah.
It's like every time, man. Like,
I know, right? Yeah, Eggers is doing a werewolf movie next. Good. He should. The farther
need
away I get
werewolf
away from
movies.
that most recent Wolfman, the less I like it.
The one with Anthony Hopkins in it?
No, not the one with Anthony Hopkins in it. Like that one I like more as with passing time, although
Okay.
it's not the movie I wanted it to be.
Are you talking about the one where it's like the dad gets infected?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
That one
And you didn't like it?
The farther away I get from watching it, the less I like it. Because
Gotcha.
it did a lot of cool things, but I wanted a werewolf movie.
Oh, and it wasn't a werewolf movie?
Not in a traditional sense.
Gotcha.
You
That's
know,
how I felt.
you know how like they did something weird with like the Invisible Man? Well, it's the same director.
Yeah, we're gonna subvert the expectations of the audience.
Yeah.
I don't want my expectations subverted. I need them met.
Yeah. Well, like in this, it's one of those it worked in the Invisible Man because there was an Invisible Man.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like there is a wolf man, but you expected more. I expected a little more.
I'm trying to think.
It's
There's
not
another movie.
It's not bad enough movie that I would say it's a bad movie, but like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, I need like a real werewolf movie, and werewolves just wasn't quite good enough.
Mm-hmm. We need some more ginger snaps in our life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, we need more ginger snaps, more howling,
Yeah. Like the OG, I listened to the audiobook to the original one last year, because I've never read the book.
The Howling?
Yeah. That was... It kind of weirded me out. I'm not surprised it's a horror book written in the fucking 70s, right?
Yeah, because all the self-help cults,
Yeah. Well, and the first chapter of the book, because the main character, she gets essayed, like, at the beginning of the book. Unnecessarily, the first chapter is from, like, the predator's point of view. And it's like, we didn't actually have to write this. like, we didn't actually need... And I was just like, whatever, it's from the 70s. Like, I'm not offended by it, but it's just a critique.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing where it's like we needed a reason for the woman to be seeking
to be there.
This.
Yeah.
To seek the assistance of this what turns out to be a werewolf cult.
It was in the book. It wasn't that even so much she was like going to any kind of like cult or seeing any sort of like assistance. It really was just like them moving to the countryside in Northern California to just get out of the city and to like help decompress her stress and stuff like that. Like there was no like cult or like wellness center that she was seeking out. Like, it was just literally like, going get lost in the forest, like, go touch grass sort of stuff.
Right.
And then the husband's like is a dick about it, even though it was his idea. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna bang the hot chick that owns the witchcraft store, who happens to be a werewolf, and thus the werewolf cult is
right.
introduced. Like, So, and I was just like, okay, that's what this book is about. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is still Silver Bullet though. Like
Silver
especially
Bullet's
School.
really good.
Yeah.
That one's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. You know,
Um,
that Silver Bullet to me always worked well as a double feature with Lost Boys.
yeah, it really did. Yep.
You know,
Uh,
Howling 3, Rise of the Marsupials. Holy shit. Like, that movie is so bad, it's awesome. That movie is so ridiculous. Because you're
one?
like, Howling 3, Rise of the Marsupials. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Okay, they're were-kangaroos.
Oh my god.
No, I recommend it because you're gonna watch it. And you're like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. This movie is just completely ridiculous. And then you're gonna be like, yes, this movie is completely ridiculous.
Jack, what if you just play a were-kangaroo in our Urban Shadows game?
I'm not playing a were-kangaroo in the Urban Shadows game. I'm not doing that. Yeah, Company of Wolves is an amazing werewolf movie because what's the werewolf? Turns out the werewolf is the primal like erotic urge.
Yeah. Also, Dog Soldiers. Dog Soldiers is a favorite of mine. Yep, that one's a really, really good one. Shit, what else? Of course, all of them came out before the year 2000 because we have not, probably before the year 95. I don't think we've had a good werewolf movie. Like, don't get me wrong, like, as a teenager, I had feelings about American Werewolf in Paris, because, you know, I was a teenager.
Yeah, but it's not American Werewolf in London, if you know what I mean.
No, it's not. But I didn't see American Werewolf in London in the 90s with the Bush soundtrack to it, okay? I saw American Werewolf in Paris first. And it was so cheesy and awful, and I loved it, and I still love it to this day because of the nostalgia factor. I saw this one, I can't think of the name of it, and it's very similar to the one you were describing, but it like takes place in Utah, and it's another werewolf that's not a werewolf. It's just a guy in a costume that
you're talking the Wolf of Snow Hollow?
Yes, that one.
That one was amazing.
I know, but I was just like, but because it felt like a real werewolf movie.
Yeah, halfway through the movie, you were convinced that werewolf is real.
Yeah, like it was so good, and when you get like the first shot of it, like that first long shot, where
you're
like facing off.
Nope,
yeah,
it's real.
So good.
It's real.
You're like, that's fucking real, and it was great, and the whole like. I had weird feelings about the script of the movie because I felt like I was losing my mind in the same way I was losing my mind when I read Dorian Gray. Like, is this? I don't know.
The
main character is losing his mind. That's why.
Yeah, Wolf of Snow Hollow fucks with you. It's one of those movies that fucks with you. You know, because the entire time you're like, there's a werewolf. It's fucking real. He's wrong. And then it turns out, no, it's just a guy in an amazing werewolf costume. Like
he commissioned the shit out of that first scene.
And I'm like, the thing I loved about it is I was like, the movie makers did it right, which was in order to pull this movie off, that werewolf outfit needs to be completely 100% convincing.
Yeah.
You need to believe that werewolf is fucking there. And I find myself going like, why don't we make actual werewolf movies with this level of fucking detail?
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
like
shit.
we haven't made any. And you know me, I love werewolves in all shapes and forms because
one of the best. Yeah, ironically, one of the best looking werewolves in recent history, and it's not technically a werewolf.
Yeah, it's true. The body horror that comes with werewolf transformations too is just, and I'm such a body horror girly. I read so much Animorphs as a kid. Just
well, one of the things this is actually one of the things that disappointed me about Werewolf 5th Edition, the most recent Werewolf the Apocalypse, which I was like, what was that?
I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I found myself going, no, man, at this point, you should know what a person who wants to play werewolf wants to do, which is
be a monster.
Tear things to pieces.
Yeah, be a fucking monster.
Yeah, be a fucking monster. Like, you just sort of like, you wolf out, that's it. Here it comes, baby. You know?
Like,
Because
I'm not
there's
saying you can't add nuance to werewolf
oh
characters.
no,
and shit like that.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
because I do love the subversion of monster tropes and subverting monsters, but it's still a monster
Yeah.
that I would like to smooch, but it's still a monster.
Yeah. You still want to make out with it, but it's got to be a
Yeah.
monster, you know. Otherwise,
Oh,
that don't
hold
work.
on 1 second. Speaking of, I have an accident. I need to close my I need to turn my camera off for a second.
Okay. Okay, as we wait.
Oh, sorry. All right, we're fine.
Everything
We're fine.
good?
Hopefully that didn't catch, but there was a bad dragon like right behind me.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I mean, I don't care, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how YouTube feels about it, you know. But personally, I'd be like, nah, it's fine with me.
Like everything's like blurred back here, and it probably just looked like some.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it.
But like I had this moment, I was like, wait a second, did I put him back? So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a
So
secret about
it's
me.
not. So the problem I had with Fifth is I was like, nah, it should have more than its fair share of violence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And one of the problems that I've always kind of had with the White Wolf games, and unfortunately this still exists, is they're not very good at simulating combat. Like, and I'm like, nah, in Werewolf, you need to be able to like get into the gritty violence, you know, the primal violence, because that's the idea. You know, even if you're even if you're like the shaman werewolf, it should still be freaky as fuck.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It should be terrifying.
Yeah, it should be absolutely terrifying. And unfortunately, that game system doesn't really lend itself to those kinds of things. Strangely enough, it takes a little too long, just a bit too long to adjudicate any action. You know, which I'm like, yeah, you got to find a way to speed that thing up, baby. You know, even I think in Vampire it's fine because, you know, in Vampire you're supposed to be cooler than you're supposed to be too cool for school if you're a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in Werewolf it's like no. You should feel like you could just fucking take a guy's head off.
Yeah.
You know, you get mad enough, you'll just be like,
the
done.
one thing I've done with Werewolf lately is one of the visual novels was Heart of the Forest.
Heart of the I've heard of that.
And I know another one came out that I haven't touched yet. But yeah, I like my werewolves.
Yeah. But I find myself going like, yeah, but isn't the fantasy of the werewolf being the werewolf?
There is only one master, and his name is Satan.
Fuzzy someone coming.
I don't know where my camera is, but as someone developing some werewolf concepts, this
like
is
Fuzzy.
entirely
Oh my god!
alley.
What if it was like a
Like
werewolf
Fuzzy the
movie,
Muppet
but the
werewolf
werewolf was like a
film,
puppet,
for
like in the
example.
Vortilac?
Jesus Christ.
Have you seen the Vortilac?
I would hate it. No, I don't watch anything with puppets.
You might want to watch the Vortilac because it's a freaky puppet. It's obviously a puppet, but it's a freaky puppet.
Yeah, if it's like an animatronic thing, like that's cool. But if it's anything that's like Muppet-esque,
no, it's not. Well, it's part of the weirdness of the movie is the fact that the monster is very clearly a puppet, even though it looks fucked up.
Okay, I have a phobia. That's why.
Oh, you have a phobia of puppets.
Yeah.
Oh, this might activate it then.
Yeah, I have not. I wouldn't even like call it a phobia. It's just directly related to a really terrible event that has had to me.
Gotcha.
So I just don't like Sesame Street doesn't bother me, but Muppets do, and that's fucking weird. Sort of thing. It's just an association that I have with them. Yeah. I also can't watch like the Dark Crystal or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Man, speaking of weird things that like that, I was following this like there's this extreme body model person that I follow on Instagram, whose name I am now spacing on. She has like these implants that give her like horns. She's has tattoos, a tattoo of a skull over her face.
Yeah.
Most of her body is a black tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself going, I'm scaroused.
Oh, I love being scaroused.
But that's not, but the thing that actually bothered me is that she had the tip of her nose removed.
Oh!
Yeah. So she literally has those like triangular skull fucking, and that freaked me out. That's the part that actually freaked me out.
It's like, okay, girl, like listen, I get it. Sometimes we're just weird little guys, but oh man, she went for it.
Yeah, she went for it. She went for it. And I found myself going, by all logic, by all internal consistency, I should not be bothered by that, but I am. It's like when it's I can't, it's hard to liken it to something, but it's that thing where you're like, okay, now I'm like, now I'm a little repelled, now I'm actually a little afraid. And for some reason, it's because there's this weird association in my head where I could catch that. It makes no sense. It was an elective surgery. She didn't get syphilis or something, which is another way that can happen.
She made like the decision to do that to herself, like.
Yeah. But there is that weird thing where it's like, if I make out with this, I'm gonna turn into my nose is gonna rot off. Even though I know that that's not gonna happen. And I found myself going, so I'm super fascinated with this person because I get fixated on things I'm a little scared of.
No, that's fair. Same. I same. That's that trauma. I sent you a link of the teeth that I want to save up for.
Oh, those are cool.
Those are cool as fuck, right?
I wish my dental work could handle shit like this.
Well, I need to get dental work done, but
how many teeth do you still have?
I have all my teeth.
That's way more than I got.
Yeah, I have all my teeth. My wisdoms need to come out. And I need a severe cleaning at my bottom ones. I haven't had a cleaning in about a decade, unfortunately, because we don't have dental care in Canada. Health.
Really?
As far as our healthcare plan, it's coming to us now, but unless it directly affects your health, in an emergency situation, it's not covered under. You have to get private insurance.
Yeah, I'm actually of the opinion that dental health is actually really important, and that's from being on the business end of it.
Yeah, it is.
Like for example, I have I don't have two molars that connect. My front teeth are okay, but my back teeth, all fucked up.
Yeah,
all fucked up, and it can all be fixed for the right amount of money, which I don't got.
Yeah.
That's something that pisses me off. It's like, no, I want my teeth back. I think I look better with teeth.
Most people do.
Most people do. Yeah. But at the same time, I've got. Okay, here's where it gets a little depressing. At the same time, I got this thing where I'm so depressed about my dental situation that it becomes hard to actually care for them.
I understand that.
I hate this. I don't like this because it's like, no. If I could preserve what I have, but then it's like, when I'm a loser, I'm just gonna have no teeth. You know, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God. And I wish I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wish I didn't have that because that's fucked up. It's fucked up for a person to think that about any part of their body. You know, unless you actually are like growing a tumor or something. You know, at which point, oh yeah, get rid of that shit. You know, and I've also discovered something odd. I've discovered something odd.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm a big tit hound.
Yep.
So
enjoy them titties.
yeah. Love them titties.
Love them titties.
And there is this kind of unconscious stereotype that like white girls don't tend to have the biggest boobs. They don't have the smallest boobs, but
Okay.
they don't have the biggest boobs.
There's a
And
stereotype.
yeah.
Sure.
And I realized what it actually is, which is white women are more likely to have a reduction than any other group of women.
Because they have access to it.
Yeah, because they have because they have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they're also the group that probably gets more done as well. Again,
yes,
because they have access to it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and it was, but it's really, really interesting to me, the relationship that middle class, normal white women have with their bodies. Because it's very, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they don't all got it, you know, but you can tell that you can see the societal pressure. You know, you can see the societal pressure that's being
there's
put
definitely a weird pressure. Like, so, you know, I am both white and not white, and sometimes white, and I'm in the African diaspora for being Creole, but
right.
Like as far as like where I'm also at now, I'm just seen as a working class white woman through most people that see me up here in Vancouver, right?
Right.
And you know, then the accent comes out and they don't know what to do with me. But like but they're, you know, I'm gonna be 40 this year, and so I'm also fat. I have a lot of weird relationships with my body.
Right.
And like, what do you know, what is acceptable to like the type of fat that I'm supposed to have, like what's acceptable kind of thing. It's like, oh, you got TNA, you're fine. I was like, yeah, but I also got a big fucking stomach. Like she hang there. She's cute though. But you know, I started probably like in my 30s, just not giving as much as, and I still give like some levels of fuck because I do have like gender fluidity and I like to be as
right.
agender in my dress as possible. But like, I kind of just stopped giving a fuck, like trying to like go to society pressures. I dress out what makes me happy. My hair is what makes me happy. My makeup or lack thereof is what makes me happy. And you know, as in the also the punk diasphere,
Right.
like, you know, being fat's punk as hell right now because that's the health influencer thing is a pipeline.
Yeah.
Right now. Like,
yeah, it really is.
Ah.
Well, I think the key word is what you said, acceptable. And
Yeah.
because that is a word I noticed gets applied to white women beauty that doesn't in other places, not to the same degree, maybe in Asians.
That's a whole nother thing that you can touch on.
Yeah.
Because that's their that's
Asian girls, particularly Korean girls, get hella plastic surgery.
Yeah.
But if you're not white in America, being bigger is more acceptable. It's not as big of ironically, not as big of an issue. It's still an issue, but it's not
still an issue.
as bad. You could still be considered beautiful to a greater degree. than in white culture, which I always thought was weird. I always thought that was interesting.
Most of us are built like French and English peasants. Like that's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
skin.
yeah.
Like when are we expected to still look like 12-year-old boys in womanhood? Like
Yeah.
if that makes sense, sort of. Like I am built like a French peasant, straight up. So it's it's fucking weird, dude. Like I don't know. I have like my own lived experience with it, but like also, I that lived experience I don't care about. All I can say is that couple things. Um and this is stuff that affects me in my daily life as being a fat femme, is I have to be, when I leave my house, to be treated well. I have to kind of like dress and look to like an extreme, if that makes sense. Like I have to be like super feminine or like super mask, and I like
I
none of
see, I
that,
see, I
right?
see.
I just go as super goth as possible because I like for people to
Right,
be
right. That's
very
a
unsettled.
good.
I I
That's
want,
an extreme that doesn't
yeah,
rely so
which
much on gender specifically.
yeah, which by the way, it was so fucking weird. So for the whole year, I stopped putting like fun colors in my hair because I wanted my hair to kind of get back to some health. So I was just dyeing it black. I have never been bothered by so many fucking men in my whole life than by not having colored hair. And I go, so it is true. It is a warning sign. Soon as I started coloring my hair again, nobody fucking bothered me. Like,
Wow.
I was
Yeah,
like,
because
just
like
like I've gotten pushed off of sidewalks type of bothered. Like
wow.
as soon as I started coloring my hair and like I started to do like my inner corners to make myself look a little fox-like, especially with this hair, no one's fucking bothered me. Like people
Wow.
do not talk to me, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
I have like the tallish guy thing, and also
yeah,
my I am told I have resting threatening face.
gotcha. Hmm.
You know, like if I'm just walking around, particularly if I'm thinking about something, which is all the time, like I furrow my brows, and then everyone's like, "No, don't talk to that guy. He's gonna hit us." I'm not saying they're wrong. I am just saying, like, I don't intend to look like that most of the
Yeah,
time. If I'm
fair.
walking around at night, I put it on a little bit more because it's like I don't want to
It's
get
nighttime.
mugged. It's
Yeah.
nighttime. I don't want to get mugged, and I haven't been mugged yet. Knock wood. I've been pickpocketed, but I haven't been mugged. You thought Canadians were friendly? Well, it's compared to Americans.
Okay, here's here as an American, as a Southerner, as living in Canada, Canadians are very polite.
But that's different than friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And to
that's
be
different than
fair,
friendly.
I am on the West Coast, and everyone's getting rained on here all the time. So I can expect people to be a little bit grouchy here, in comparison. But you know, Canadians, I like Canadians, I really do. I'm married to one. Like, but yeah, Canadians are very, very polite. Um, but as far, I know y'all were talking about, 51st state bullshit and all of that.
Oh God.
All I can fucking say is, here in Canada, it's not called the Geneva Convention, it's called the checklist.
Really? Okay.
Because Canada checked those off for them to get onto the convention list.
So so it's not check, it's check like Czechoslovakia.
No, 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 no. Like we checked it off.
Oh. Oh.
The reason there is a Geneva Convention is because of Canada.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's like fighting Russians in winter. Like, do you not see the national sport of this place? There's rules here for fist fighting. Like, you're allowed to just fight each other here. Like, to solve a dispute. Like,
Yeah, what
there's
you're saying
rules
is
to it.
Letterkenny comes from a real place.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's fucking Ontario. Of course, Hick, Ontario. Absolutely. Like, absolutely. Vancouver is a little bit more pain. Like this part specifically, is not as rough and tussle as I think as some of the rest of Canada. But you know, mostly because we're all high. Like, we're fine. We're like the California of Canada. But um. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to fight a Canadian, is all I'm saying. And like, here's the thing, and I'm not afraid to fight. I'm from the swamp. We got Waffle Houses. Like I've been I've been in a few tussles um in my lifetime to solve a dispute themselves. So
Oh man, yeah. I've gotten into so many fights, and I'm still like a little afraid of them. You
oh
know,
yeah,
to be
you should
totally honest.
yeah, well, as here's the thing. We are a predator species technically, and we understand as a predator species if we get injured, that's a bad
Yeah,
thing,
that's a bad thing.
right?
Yeah.
So we're very cautious about where we fight. But the thing is that like when it comes to like as an American, it's like, bitch, we don't have health care. Let's go all the way. Like, what do we got to lose?
News.
As we're Canadians, we have healthcare up here, so that's why they make everyone wear helmets on their motorcycles. Like,
Man, why don't I always have this thing about Americans. I've seen it in other its version in other countries. America seems to be the worst at it, which is why is it so unacceptable to take care of other people?
I don't know. I
I don't get it at all because I'm like that what? Like you're acting
it has to come with Cold War bullshit, right? Like
it's got to come from somewhere because like I'm just sitting there
the
and I'm like
Puritans.
it's probably a fair degree of racism that is part of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Because the thing, like, anywhere that is very specifically more evangelical in nature, as well as like Christian evangelical as well,
Right.
has that rampant individualism. Whereas you find, and you know, whereas like I also find where there are, for example, more Catholic communities, like those tend to lean a little bit not towards individualism and lean more into community and taking care of each other and things like that. As long as
Right.
it's the church doing it and not the government doing it. Sort of thing.
Well, I've noticed that evangelical communities have a siege mentality,
Yeah.
which is which to me is very, very strange given the fact that we're America. We haven't really had to have a siege mentality for a while.
Yeah.
You know, you would think that would chill out, but it seems to be like this integral part of American conservatism, this feeling like there are hordes out there just trying to come in. And I'm like, but brother, you killed it. Hey, brother, you killed all the Indians ages ago. Okay. That's not happening anymore.
All of us, we're still here, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, relax.
Still here. like Andrew Jackson tried.
Yeah. But there's also this like fascination with this false sense of masculinity, which also confuses me, you know, because to me, I'm like, I'm a pretty cisgendered guy.
Yeah. You got a little bit right there that's like
yeah. But I mean, for the most part, it's like, no, the gender fits like a glove, you know, for the most part. Even if I'm doing like drag or something, I still feel male.
Yeah.
Which can be hard to describe, but it's like, no. There's no question in my mind what gender I am, but there's also no question in my mind about which gender I'm performing. You know, like there's a difference.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a big difference. And I keep watching like the incel masculinity pipeline from the outside. and I can recognize all of its parts. I recognize all of its moving
Mm-hmm.
parts. And I'm always like, brother,
Brother, please.
yeah, brother, that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And all it does is keep you where you are.
Yeah.
That's the whole fucking purpose, is to keep you where you are. And you don't want to be where you are because you're here because where you are, you acknowledge sucks. So why are you doing this? And that's the part I
heard somebody say that there's not a male loneliness epidemic. There's a conservative male loneliness epidemic.
Oh, I would go even farther. I would say there is a male loneliness epidemic, but it's not a male loneliness epidemic. It is a loneliness epidemic.
That is, yeah.
I think it's across, particularly in America, I think it's across the board. And we have our culprit. We know who stole fizzy lifting drinks. It's social media.
Yeah.
It's social media. I'm not usually a big one to blame the newish technology on the societal ill, but in this case, it seems incontrovertible.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
here's the thing. Once social media and the internet became what normies did, and not just a way for like more niche communities to connect with each other, was I think like its downfall. Essentially, when Facebook and Twitter came around, because we weren't having these issues with MySpace and LiveJournal and even old school Facebook, when you had to have gone to college to be able to have gotten into, like, you had to have your school email to own a Facebook sort of thing.
Right.
But like, and here's the thing, I love social media and I love pop culture and I love keeping up with it, like, socially and things like that. But yeah, one, I am younger than you, but I did grow up in a I'm not trying to, sorry.
Hey,
I
was a
cusp.
computer hacker and phone freaker in an age before passwords existed. So
yeah,
like,
I grew up at the cusp of, like, grew up with the social media age, right? Like, I'm elder millennial, 1985. Let's go. My friend and I were talking about this today. It's that people that are younger than us, like 10 years younger than us, they're afraid to do anything because they will be ostracized on the fucking internet. Kids are, I say kids, grown adults in their 20s are asking, it's like, during the recession, it's like, what were you doing in 2008 during the recession? I go, bro, the only thing I remember from 2008 was that I was at a Darren Gray concert in an underground Houston bar, okay, watching a 4'11" Japanese man cut himself on stage. Okay, that's what I was doing, and I was not sober. You need to get the fuck out and party, bro. Like, leave your phone at home and just, or at least just like go do drugs. Go find yourself. I wasn't worried about what the 30-somethings and the 40-somethings were doing when I was in my 20s.
That's the key. Go find yourself, because like that's the one thing you kind of can't really do in social media. And and socializing is one of the primary ways the human species understands itself.
Yeah.
You know, by bouncing off of other people. And to make things worse, social media uses the same social battery as everything else.
Yes.
But gives less feedback. But gives less fucking positive feedback.
Or sometimes just overstimulates you.
Yeah. It'll drain that battery as if you're actually talking to that people, but it won't recharge it like you're actually talking to those people.
Yeah. And there's like a significant difference between like interacting like parasocially on the internet, interacting like you and I interact. Like, we talk, we have conversations, like we're friends that just use the internet as a tool for us to communicate as friends. Kind of thing. Where it's like you have like these people that and I like, that's how I make a lot of my relationships, because as a disabled person, as a queer person that was in a not queer space, like growing up, like that's how like the internet was used as a way for me to find like other human beings and stuff like that. But I value those relationships offline. Like, the ones that I have,
And it feels like social media as in general turned against that, and that I shouldn't even say feel, because it did. It specifically turned against it.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't want to be decentralized anymore. Like that's the other thing. Social media is not decentralized. You know, before Facebook and before Twitter, a certain point of Twitter,
Yeah.
it was very decentralized. Then all of a sudden they started putting their hand, the algorithm came in, and then now it's not decentralized anymore.
Yeah.
You know, now there's an algorithm everything is filtered through, and that algorithm does not have our best intentions at heart.
Yeah, definitely. The algorithm has definitely been getting me lately because at least I feel like I can curate it to an extent, right? But
Oh
especially since
yeah.
the TikTok ban and the TikTok re-up, I feel like my TikTok algorithm works in the same way as my Facebook one does. And that
Ooh.
like if I have searched for something on my phone or mentioned anything or like it's definitely listening because all of a sudden because here's the thing like my hyperfixation I've re-upped my hyperfixation on Naruto recently and like now I'm just getting Naruto edits, now I'm just getting Apothecary Diary edits, like anime, and I'm not mad. Okay. I'm not mad. I want to see more of your like little shipping comics. Like give them to me. That's what I want to
Yeah.
see. I will look at art in all forms of my favorite shit. But
Yeah.
like it's also like for example, I started like listening to an audiobook that and the only thing that I said and mentioned about this audiobook was the fact that I listened to it on Spotify, and then all of a sudden, and very specifically this book, it's called Lights Out, and it's a like stalker romance. It's a dark
Okay.
romance, right? And it became popular because of mask talk on TikTok, like the people who put on the ghost mask from COD and stuff like that, and do essentially thirst traps or ghost
Okay.
mask
Okay. Got
into
it.
like it's a direct like it's about like that sort of thing. I've never been on Mask Talk before, but because I started listening to this book on Spotify, those people started to appear in my algorithm. Like I'm not searching for it, I'm not looking for it. I didn't even put that I was reading on it on Goodreads kind of thing. I
Right.
just listened to it on Spotify and all of a sudden it was on it's not just on my TikTok algorithm, it's now on my Instagram feed as well. And I was just like, I can't like this on my Instagram feed. Like my parents look at this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? TikTok's a little bit different. TikTok's there for fun for me. But yeah, no, that was it's weird. It's fucking weird and I hate it, but also I exist in this society and thus participate in it.
Yeah.
Like
Well, like, okay, my TikTok, I stopped using TikTok because,
I've noticed.
because it did the same thing to me, but it showed me different things, which
Mm.
is everything I was starting to get was coming from the conservative side of TikTok.
Ew, gross.
Yeah. And
No. No.
eventually I was just like, fuck this. You
Fuck
know,
that.
I can't do this anymore. There are only so many times I could see like an old, hey doggy, an old like fucking white guy complain, or what is perky young like conservative viewers like, oh my god, let me tell you about and Jesus and stuff.
Stop
I was
talking
like,
about
that
Jesus.
that needs to stop right
I don't
now.
want to talk about Jesus.
I don't want.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Those haven't come too much into my, though because of the Pope thing, I did get a lot of like cradle Catholics fucking with um like shitting on converts from evangelicalism to Catholicism for the vibes. And I was actually like here for it.
Yeah.
Like cuz cradle Catholics are like, we don't do Bible study. Like we go to the fish fry kind of like sort of thing.
Oh
It's
my
like, what are you
god.
doing? Like cuz there's like a huge like, it's like I'm culturally Catholic and we don't fucking do that, okay? Like
No.
what's like
There's
why are
also.
you wearing a veil to mass? Like, come on. We got 1 hour a week we have to deal with this shit, and then the rest of our lives. It's like Hank Hill said.
Well, there's also something interesting that I've noticed. Catholicism expects shit of you.
Yeah.
Evangelicalism asks it's funny. It asks for
Demands.
everything. It demands everything, except that you change as a person.
Yeah.
Which to me is like, oh, that's insidious. That is insidious.
Yeah. And yeah, like, I'm not here, like, listen to me. I hate the Catholic Church with all of my fiber of my being. It is terrible organization. That being said, individual communities of people, especially those where it's so culturally tied to them, especially ethnic groups, it's tied to my ethnicity, right?
Right.
Like, it's like I'm never, listen, I get to have Mardi Gras, but I don't have to fast for Lent, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of level of ethnicity. So like it's gonna be there in my life. Like, I'm gonna be attending Catholic funerals and weddings until the day I fucking die, okay?
Right,
Like,
right. The last one will be yours. Yeah.
it better not be. I have told my husband, because I want to be a fucking tree pod, okay? I want to be a tree. Like, I want to be food for a tree. Most likely a magnolia tree, but I would like to be food for a tree.
Yeah. That's kind of that's where I'm at as well. I'm like, yeah, if you wanna put a plaque in the ground, that's great. But I just want to be buried in a shroud. I don't want to I mean, I want a coffin while I'm alive. I don't want to be buried in a coffin unless it's literally just like a wood coffin that's intended to decay. You know, but I would rather just be put in a shroud in the ground, standing up. I don't know why. That's a big thing for me.
Let it eat. Let the earth eat me. Like, this is how we're like she's like, I don't want to be, and I don't want to be like ashes either. Like, I want my body to feed something.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Like let it decompose and rot and give life to everything that's around.
Yeah,
it,
I actually, one thing I would actually not mind is I wouldn't mind having, for lack of a better word, a real wake. I don't mean like I'm in a funeral home in a casket, you know, my body's all like done up. I mean, like, I don't even want to be embalmed. I want to be like, yep, his body's in the fucking sitting on the couch. Go have your picture taken with him. You know, have a drink.
I'll take a picture like with like by your corpse.
Yeah. I just want to do that, you know. I want that kind of old school. My corpse is sitting in a chair in a parlor kind of thing. Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's, like. And then they're like, all right, he's starting to, you know, it's starting to happen. Let's put him in a shroud.
Let's wrap him up and
wrap him up, put him in the ground, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I think that would be cool. I wouldn't mind being in a graveyard.
Yeah,
you know,
as long
I'm
as
okay
I can
with
rot.
being in a graveyard.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that'd be kind of cool. You know,
Yeah.
I hope that someone digs up my bones and tries to freak people out with them.
Oh, please do witchcraft with my bones.
Yes. Like, no, go wild. You know.
Please do witchcraft with my bones. Speaking of witchcraft and TikTok and all of this bullshit, I actually don't believe. I'm like a staunch atheist. I have no belief in anything actually magical or supernatural, anything like that, right? However, the fact that one performance of Silver Springs is trending again on TikTok.
Silver Springs,
and you have Stevie Nicks singing Silver Springs at her ex-husband.
Oh, right.
Makes me go, and you know, it's like, that might make me believe, because that feels like witchcraft, and he will never escape her voice.
Yeah.
if it,
I know, right?
As it continues, as every generation discovers like Fleetwood Mac for the first time, because I think it's Gen Z's turn to discover Fleetwood Mac right now.
Yeah, and Stevie Nicks,
and then you get into the whole history and that one specific performance where she is putting a curse on that man, and his wife is in the audience, the one that he cheated on her with. And it's like that's witchcraft.
Well,
Like,
yeah. Here's the thing. I actually think that art and performance is the essence of magic and witchcraft. Like, that is the thing. That's the real shit.
I also think psychology and science is also a part of it too, right?
Oh yeah. Like to me, magic cannot move, does not move against the absolute physical properties of the universe. It must work with them. If it exists, if it is said to be existing at all, it must work with them.
If it exists at all, it's not supernatural. It's just part of the natural world that we do not understand yet.
Yeah.
Exists.
Well, the way I like to see it is I like to see the imagination as a real place. And that is that's weird to do. It's that feeling of like, whenever I'm imagining like an alien landscape, it's actually that feeling of like somewhere it's being created. Whether it's a physical place anyone else can visit, I don't know. But it is clear to me that the imagination can be shared, because if it couldn't, then why would we have all these pictures and all of these writings that we do? Why do we like fiction? We like fiction because we want to share the imagination with somebody. Same thing with comics and and paintings and sculpture.
We're a storytelling species.
Mm-hmm.
An oral tradition is also incredibly still important for us too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like living in my imagination a lot. I do have maladaptive daydreaming. Some of it's great. Some of it leads me into panic attacks, but I do have it. And I have a hyper, like, how like there's aphantasia where like people just can't see anything in their mind's eye?
Yeah. You don't see.
I am the complete opposite of that spectrum, to where like I can imagine things in like complete and utter like 4K 8K detail.
One of the things I found very interesting is a lot of visual artists don't see things in their mind's eye.
Like a lot of observational artists.
Which is really, really interesting to me, because it doesn't seem to have any effect on their skill and talent. It's just that some don't. But who almost universally doesn't have it? Who does have a strong mind's eye? Writers.
What?
Writers. Writers usually have a very strong mind's eye.
So my best friend, who you'll actually meet because she's going to be playing with us, she has aphantasia, and she's an excellent writer and has an excellent imagination, but she has aphantasia.
Okay, so she can't visualize.
Yeah, she has like a couple of things that she can visualize, but like for the most part she's aphantasia. So she just sees, and it's one of the reasons why she's able to also read so fast. Because she just sees the words and descriptions for as they are for like the technical side, and she imagines a lot of things also in like patterns and numbers instead of pictures, if that makes sense. Like
interesting.
She puts everything together like mathematically. Almost.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so where it's like me, like I'm out there with a fucking Ari, like swerving around a camera, an apple.
Yeah.
Changing the lights and everything.
Yeah, I can do the same thing.
It's like, cool, if I put a purple light on this red delicious, what color does it actually look like, kind of thing. Like I can mix colors in my head. Sort of level of fantasia, hyper fantasia.
Horror and comedy are the most difficult things to write. Yes. Yeah, because it's really hard to stick those landings. Anyone can do the build up, but the payoff, that's the hard bit. That's the hard bit.
Yeah. So because I've been kind of trying to write my werewolf story too, right? And I've been trying to think about what my payoff is going to be. Like, I have an idea, I just haven't solidified it.
I'm not even talking about the payoff of the overall novel. I'm just talking about a scare scene.
Yeah, or even scare scene, yeah. We're good.
Yeah. What was it? Stephen King had a hierarchy that he used. He was like, the best, the one that you go for, creepy. If you can creep someone out, that's the best. If you don't know how to do that, go for the scare. Just go for the sudden jump scary. That's an easy one. That's a simple one to do. But if you can't do that, that's when you go for the gross out.
Yeah, and
So he's like creepy,
of
scary, gross in that order, in that descending order.
creepy, scary, gross. I think like the gross stuff that I like is clearly like body horror. I think body horror is my gross stuff. I don't like torture porn that much. Like first Saw, fucking genius. After that, couldn't fucking care about another. Couldn't fucking care about it because also Saw was not just like torture porn; it was psychological horror, right?
Right.
And so I think the first one's a
torture is
masterpiece.
Psychological, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
it's not just where it's like the rest of it is just like okay, like I'm not really like that interested, but like put It Follows in front of me, like that level of psychological horror where it's like something is constantly after you.
Yeah.
That one gets to me. Like put in gothic horror like Nosferatu, where like everything is just so fucking unsettling.
Yeah, that new Nosferatu has tons of body horror. It's great.
Yeah. Oh my god, I should probably watch it this weekend then. Because I know it's on Amazon right now, and we just haven't sat down to watch it lately because it's not dark till almost 10 o'clock here. Like, I wake up, it's like 4:30 in the morning, and the sun is coming up, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Fuck you. And then it's not down to almost 10, and now it's like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I don't know. It's like, this is my bedtime, and the sun is coming up. Fuck this. Like, I hate it. Especially the high UV days that we keep getting lately. I'm like, no, don't want it.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I only kind of get a little bit is, so the game is Urban Shadows, right? The one that we're going to be doing live.
Yes. Yeah.
So as far as I could tell, it seems like it's mainly a political intrigue game.
A little bit of political intrigue with monsters, yeah.
Okay.
Like your monsters. Like very urban fantasy is the core to it.
Oh, okay.
But in that same like urban fantasy that has like, you're playing as monsters, so clearly there's horror elements kind of thing.
Right. So what are your options?
Like the playbooks,
yeah.
We shared them, and Jim, our storyteller or MC, is willing to kind of like I kind of talked to you a little bit about like my idea.
Right.
I want to reskin a fae to be like a kid, like a fox spirit kitsune type character.
Yeah. That should be very easy. I mean, this is Ireland.
Yeah. Like for him, like he was saying how instead of being a werewolf, he was like a were-alligator instead.
Right. Oh, okay.
Sort of, yeah. So there's like, and then there's some other more mundane stuff, like there's like a monster hunter type. It feels very like, I don't want to say like watered down White Wolf, but it takes like some of those elements from White Wolf. Like you have, different kinds of like critters and monsters, and you throw them into this urban environment. Did you vote on what city we were gonna play in?
I have not.
On the Discord.
I have not voted on that. What are the options?
You have. I think you're gonna be the decisor too. Okay, because everything has one vote for the 4. It's a choice between Phoenix, Charleston, London, and Lucerne.
Where's Lucerne?
Norway.
Oh, okay. Probably not that one.
Yeah, so no Nordic horror.
Okay.
Nordic urban. So think about.
I would be totally lost in that.
So we're going desert, marshland, Appalachian marshland. When you think about it, England or Nordic areas. So I voted Phoenix because
that's kind of what I'm leaning towards because like that's an area of the country I kind of have a foothold in, so I could fake the rest of it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know what playbook I would, what character type I would use. My initial instinct is to take a character from another game and put it in here.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking, what am I? This is an NPC that I had for so I ran a Girl by Moonlight, which is, you know, magical girls, right?
Right, yeah.
And the plot of that was there was a magical girl named Chrysanthemum who fell in love with a monster fox, a nine-tailed fox, Inari. And there was
The most
essentially
powerful kind.
the most powerful, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. We gotta love we gotta have our mortal girls with our monster boyfriends, okay?
Right.
like ancient deities. That is my trope. Like sort of stuff. And so what happened was, you know, the people, you know, humans are kind of assholes, and you know, because foxes need chi, which they can only get from humans,
Okay.
to essentially live and to get stronger. You know, you get it two ways. You either kill them or you fuck them. Like that's
Right.
how
That's
it
a
happens.
way to do
That's
it.
part of the deep lore, like,
Right.
kind of thing. You know, it's like cool. Like these are monsters. We don't want them existing. And you know, she's married to one. She has a kid from one. So she essentially like creates this veil of like this mirror world of Vancouver where like her kid can grow up safely, and but they have to have magical girls there to like, anyway, her poor kid, which is the person that I'm thinking of playing, he was sent with his caretaker, who he's like about 10-ish years older than him, who's also a magic girl, who had the power to control foxes. So she's fucking jealous because she didn't want to actually go into the void and babysit a whole bunch of fox babies like that and other magical girls. That's not what she wanted to do. She wants the veil to be gone. So what does she do? She grooms and controls this young fox kid into essentially like killing all the magical girls. So she's a serial killer, and he was the tool to that. And so he's like, yes, so he has issues with one, intimacy, and two, killing people. So he's gonna have a fucking problem. Like,
Right.
I'm Trey, and on top of that, he's gorgeous. So that's like I want to delve into like the psychological aspect of like essentially being forced to be a serial killer and trying to recover from that, like as a serial, like at being groomed and that sort of thing. So
Ooh,
that's
okay.
yes. So being groomed by a serial killer is like the
Is
psychological aspect.
is
I'm
there
going for.
like a demon playbook?
There is one, and I think someone is already has an idea for it. Just kind of, it's called the I have to look at it, but essentially it's, I don't know if it's a demon, it's someone who made a deal with a demon, and she essentially she wants to play like making, because I've been talking to her, making a deal with a demon, basically Hell's Prettiest Princess sort of thing. You know, one of the nicest people in the world just so happens to be like contracted to a demon sort of thing. But there might be like an actual demon too. We can look at it. I've got it somewhere. Where's the
Yeah,
sorry guys, we're talking about stuff that
yeah, like also which version of the game are we doing?
one edition, first edition.
First edition. Okay, so they have a
Yeah, because
second
there's just
edition.
more. Yeah, there's just more stuff for it, and Jim just likes running first edition.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, what the fuck ever. I don't give a shit. I just want to play Urban Shadows. So like, I just want to be a little fox boy, a traumatized fox man. Like,
yeah. Do you have a is
it should be in. It's in the Discord room, buddy.
In the Discord room.
There.
All right, what's the name of the Discord room? Because I'm like a part of so many, I can't
All right,
find them.
So there's
all.
mine, Valdrian's Raptor Pack, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you should be in the room where it says Spring 2025 Actual Plays, and you'll see Urban Shadows Fridays, 3 p.m. And you should be in that.
All right, what icon am I looking for?
Icon?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
You have for my thing?
Yeah.
You have the little purple Velociraptor lady.
Purple Velociraptor
That looks like my
lady.
my Defiant character.
Let's see.
Do you want me to just at you?
Yeah, just at me, because I'm like
I just added you.
okay. So
So pin that shit at the top, so that since you're gonna be actively playing.
Right.
Like,
All right. Oh, last link I got from you is a Etsy link, which is that's cheat.
but yes, I just pinned you. I just added you in my Discord in the specific room. I just added you.
Okay, that's not going to help. I have so many of these fucking things open.
Jack.
Oh wait, Valdrian's Raptor Pack. Oh, there we go.
Look at that!
Found it.
You did it.
All right,
now put that at the top.
Now, where do I find the stuff I need?
All right, cool. So you're gonna see a whole bunch of categories. There's lobby, promotional spaces, memes and fuzzy stuff, all cast spaces, and then you're gonna see the spring 2025 actual plays, and you'll have
okay.
There you go, and there's a pin in there for the playbooks.
Okay. How do it? Where's the pin? Pinned message. Google Drive.
Yeah.
All right. Blammo.
I think that.
Okay, download.
I'm going Fae, and my other and someone else is going the Tainted, which is the demon one. But there's also, and like everything can be reskinned to something else. There's the Aware, the Fae, which is where I'm going with, the Hunter, the Oracle, the Spectre, the Tainted, the Vamp, the Veteran, and the Wizard, and the Wolf. And I think there might be some other playbooks as well that Jim might have posted. But
I see. He posted them. He posted them individually. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all in a big old zip file. All right. Let's see. We got Immortal. Immortal?
Ooh.
What is Immortal?
That's it. That's one I don't have. So.
Immortal, clever schemes. Okay, so you basically pick one of these and then you say it's whatever you.
Yeah.
You say it's whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Scholar, the Revenant, the Hallowed. You lead a religious or spiritual community. Okay. Oh, so Hallowed. The Vessel. You're an inanimate thing. Okay. Is that the end of those? Okay, that's the end of those. U.S. playbooks? What the Aware.
That's the one that I was, yeah.
Okay. The Fae.
Which is I'm going to do.
Okay. The Hunter. The Oracle. The Spectre. The Tainted. Patron Claimed Your Soul.
Which is the other idea that one other person has talked about with her idea. Yeah.
Let's see. The Vamp. Someone comes to you looking for a favor. Okay, so you're not necessarily a vampire. Oh, no, you are a vampire. Okay. The Veteran. The Wizard. The Wolf. All right, is the wolf werewolf? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like lycanthropy, essentially.
Okay.
See, here's the thing. Like, I'll be a Kitsune and you can be a Rougarou. How's that?
Well, it seems like I'm going to have to make up a different character idea since they don't have one that this guy would easily slot into. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to think of something.
Like readapt some things.
Yeah. Because I have this one character I don't get to play very often, who was actually created for Babylon. Whose name is Lucian, who is a street dealer, but a demon street dealer.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, that might not. Doesn't look like there's a specific thing in Urban Shadows for that.
Sure, you can work something out though, like especially if you like pitched it to Jim, like when we do session 0 next week,
right?
Like he could probably figure it out. I would like, listen, just because I'm that kind of girly,
Yeah.
I would love to be someone play the hunted playbook and I'm actually their target and they don't know it. And we
Ah.
fall in love and kiss.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I will take a look at this stuff, and hopefully I'll come up with something before session 0, so I won't be sitting there at session 0 just going.
Yeah, and my session zeros, what I tend to do is I do like all the not fun stuff in the first hour and a half of it. It can last around 3 hours.
Right,
I do all the not fun stuff like, doing out like going over like our safety tools and introducing each other. It's basically a vibe check too, right? Because it's
right,
like, people at the table might not like each other, and I want to give people like a chance before we start delving into character ideas to like nope out, no consequences if that's not your type, that this table's not going to work for you, sort of thing. And then after we get through like the not fun stuff, um because we also go really deep into like lines and veils and talking about them and making sure that everybody's feeling nice and safe, uncomfortable but safe, because you know me, I don't like things sanitized at my table. I want
right,
to feel gross, as long as everybody is safe about it, sort of thing, right? I like the catharsis that comes with that kind of stuff.
right.
But the um sorry, my brain ADHD. Whew. But then once we knock out the schedule, then the next hour and a half is to character building, and then any time afterwards in the next like point 0.5, we like before we get started, we'll meet again like in a week after that to see if anyone needs like help still with character ideas. But it always helps when you're just out there like throwing ideas, because then people get inspired to like play each other. And I'm gonna talk about my idea in the chat room pretty recently. I talked to you about it and I
Got
talked to
it.
Ran about it. Um One of the other people that are playing, to see how she felt. Because she's also of like Asian descent and I'm playing some Asian folklore bullshit, right? So you're like, I always want to gauge like comfort levels with that, as not like I am mixed race, just not that one.
Right,
Like,
right.
sort of thing. And I want to make sure that I'm not stepping on toes or being disrespectful or anything like that, right?
Gotcha.
And she was good with it, and I gave her like that part of the idea. And she, the aspect of I just want to play a guy who's traumatized from being a fox serial killer. Like, that's and I love foxes. But the I'm gonna start throwing my ideas out to encourage other people to throw their ideas out, because the more ideas that we have for like our characters going into session 0, the easier that it'll be to like start working with each other, and we can get through it pretty quickly. Because my brain has been fucking stupid because killed my fucking cat this week. So
Yeah.
I know, just like, oh.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried because I often don't do well with playbook games.
Yeah.
You know, so I find so hopefully everything will be okay. You know.
It's gonna be very story based, right? And very role play
Right.
heavy, and not it's 2d6s. Like, we do moves, and it's gonna be a very like, it's powered by the apocalypse, so it will be very cinematic,
Right.
and dramatic, like emotional emotions, kind of like I want to feel terrible, awful, beautiful things.
Gotcha.
Like, if that makes sense. In the same way that we did when we played Defiant, right? I still think about that game a lot, because
Defiant.
for like the 4 or 5 episodes that we played, like that was some intense stuff for
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. That
4
was
of
really
us went
cool.
through.
I look. I'm a game tinkerer and designer, so like I felt that like I wish that the conflict system
Yeah.
had a bit more meat to it, because I found myself going like, yeah, we got into areas where it's like, no, we need to know what happens if we hit a guy. If we
Yeah,
hit
yeah, yeah.
thing, what happens?
Yeah.
And that's where I felt like that game kind of felt, that where
Yeah,
that
yeah,
game
yeah.
system was weakest.
Yes, for sure.
When it was just all about like us and what we could do individually, the game was really good.
Oh yeah, the conversations that our characters had and did with each other, and it was just like it was very character dense.
Yeah.
Like character study dense as far
Yeah.
as that went. The dice system was also fucking weird, and I played it a second time on my channel. We did it a second time on my channel. And because I wanted to give it like a fair shot again, because setting wise I think it's fucking awesome. um but the dice system itself, like the rolling system, I can't say that I was like a huge fan of.
Yeah, because like it kind of got in the it's weird, but when you were just the guys maintaining the illusion,
Yeah,
everything worked pretty well, but as soon as like anything came into contact with that, the game system kind of fell apart.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of weird game systems, have you heard of this game called Heart?
Heart? No.
Heart, The City Below.
Maybe it sounds familiar. I look at a lot of stuff, and I buy a lot of games without actually reading them because they're always in these fucking bundles.
Right, right. So yeah, I would check that one out, because that
Send me a link, so then just put it in their room and I'll look at it.
Let's see.
What time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock.
I should probably let you go soon.
Yeah, my husband's not home yet. It's summer. Not saying that he would be weirded out by me talking to you, because my husband's not a jealous person in any means. And, we're not yeah. But, sometimes, my husband gets home, I like to pay attention to him, because that's my husband.
Right.
Like, I like to see how his day went.
I'll send you a video review of Heart that I think will explain the game really well.
Okay. God damn it, I dropped my face pad.
Bonk.
I'm always dropping shit, bro.
Yeah, the whole idea is that you're exploring this dungeon that exists underneath the city. And this dungeon will give you your heart's desire, even if it kills you.
Ooh, that's fun.
That's the setting. Which system? The system of Heart is it's its own game.
Yeah.
And I always feel really weird because like there are a lot of games that I like that are not the kind of games that I make.
Yeah.
That's fair. I sometimes feel like I'm very old fashioned in a way, because for me, I kind of like the blow by blow, the specific powers, the the flow of like a Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't played D&D in so long, and I honestly kind of miss it.
Yeah. Oh, you should try Pathfinder.
I don't like Pathfinder. I think Pathfinder
is...
I actually find Pathfinder to be like, I find like as 5e was, like 5e was where I was with crunchiness in a game.
Oh, I see.
And then like Pathfinder, like I played 2nd edition. I mean, of course I played 1st edition. And I'll play it in like a CRPG. Like I play Wrath of the Righteous and all of that all the time. But like as far as like sometimes when things are too crunchy, like I feel like it hinders my style of play. Whereas like that D&D is like right there on that level of like I can cheese this for cinematic goodness.
Gotcha.
Level of coolness a little bit more than I can with like Pathfinder. That being said, my group is probably gonna play Pathfinder soon. Like, in space, not Space Finder. We're playing Pathfinder in space. I was told, and I was like, "Isn't that space? Isn't that just Space Finder?" They're like, "No, it's gonna be Pathfinder." And I was like, "Okay."
Hey, I'm running a game that's the same thing. It's
Just Pathfinder
it's a
in space.
Pathfinder in space with ships that float through the ether, And that game went into a weird direction. It started out where I was like, okay, let's this is a world that I created previously called Cynosure.
Yes.
And started running it, and it very quickly kind of turned into a game about communist revolution.
We love it. I love it. We love it so much.
Yeah. The game I run is a lot closer to Spelljammer, because, what I thought Spelljammer should have been, because the Spelljammers that they put out never quite really captured the full beauty of the idea of high fantasy in space.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed in the 5th edition Spelljammer. I'm very disappointed. I was like, oh, come on, man. You could have made this.
I don't even think I even had a chance to look at it. Like, I had fallen so off of it.
It was all
Yeah.
right. Like, it's one of those, like, one of the biggest problems that I always have with space games is one of two things. The two things are always go wrong. One, ship combat. Ship combat is usually a drag. I don't like that. I think ship combat should be cool. It should be cool and exciting.
Because it's ship combat.
It's ship combat. Shit's flying at you. Quick, you gotta fucking hit the starboard side. It's gotta give me more power to the engines. You gotta do this for the future. Like whatever, right? And very few of them capture that. One of the ones that did, and I was amazed because I was of the opinion that it was impossible to do, but this game did it, was Rogue Trader.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Fantasy Flight Rogue Trader was amazing for this.
That's the Warhammer, right?
Yeah, that's the Warhammer 40K one. Like, that one was awesome.
I will say, just a heads up, people start talking Warhammer to me, and I completely disassociate.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be like, and it's great because it's my husband's and my best friend's special interest. So as soon as it's just one of those things that has such like a negative impact in my like social experience as a tabletop gamer that I was like, yes, Warhammer. Cool.
Got no friends? Warhammer. got too much money? Warhammer.
Like, because if I don't
Warhammer.
it's
expensive.
If I don't disassociate and people start going into like the lore of Warhammer, I start physically feeling pain.
Oh jeez.
It's like one of the, you know how like, because I don't know if I just find it that fucking boring. Like, it causes me physical fucking pain for people to talk Warhammer to me. And like, so I just pretend like I just go and maladaptive daydream about like my own special interests and just pretend that I'm paying attention.
Yeah. You couldn't, Mouse and I was like, couldn't get into the Fantasy Flight games. Oh man. Like, Rogue Trader had a lot of problems, but did ship combat really well. Black Crusade had a lot of problems, but it was an amazing idea.
Here's this one.
What's that? Looks like Scum and Villainy. Oh, I've never played Scum and Villainy.
It's Blades in the Dark in Space.
Blades in the Dark in Space? Sounds good.
Yeah, so you're essentially like, a pirate ship space crew, I'm guessing. I never played it yet. It was one of I got this and Vampire during the pandemic for playing, and no one's ever fucking played it with me.
Oh, no.
I still have yet to play Vampire.
Vampire 5th, Vampire the Masquerade at all?
Like, at all. I have not played Vampire.
Oh my god.
I know. I played Bloodlines, but
right, yeah,
I've never had anyone to play Vampire with.
Oh man.
And I know, and I'm just like, it doesn't help that the fucking, like, I have my 5 book right there. It doesn't hurt that the fucking, um, it's underneath a whole bunch of other books, so I'm not gonna get it, but the columns of the layout of the
Oh
like
yeah,
source material is
that 3 column layout I hate.
I'm
Hate
so
that
fucking
3 column
blind, I
layout.
can't fucking see any of it. And I'm just like, I hate this. And let's be real, I don't learn how to play games by reading the books. I learn how to play the games by playing the games. Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then it's like, how do I do this? Let me go look it up, sort of thing, compared to, like, give me a character sheet, teach me how to make it, and I'm gonna jump headfirst into it.
Yeah. Like I'm the same way. Like for the longest time, my favorite game of all of them was Mage the
Yeah,
Ascension. And
Mage is
then
good.
when they did the redo, when they did the Chronicles of Darkness, my favorite of that series was Changing the Lost. Changing the Lost was amazing.
The only one I've ever played was Hunter of the Vigil.
Hunter the Vigil? Oh man.
Yeah, I had
Oh
a good time
man.
with it. My husband ran it on the channel. Yeah, it was a good time. I liked it.
Yeah, I really like Changing the Lost, although I feel like they fucked up a little when they did the second edition. Like they have inverse problems. In the first edition, they had a lot of character options that were really interesting, but the contracts, the power sets were all fucked up and weird. So they fixed that, but then I feel like they fucked up the character options by making them too general to the point where you're like, oh God, now I got to search through everything to remake my character. Like the fuck,
Yeah.
you know? And they lost some flavor like doing that, which is really sad. All right, so I should probably let you go because I'm also feeling a little peaked.
Yeah, I've only slept like 3 hours and had a couple Dr. Peppers to keep
Right.
me going.
But
So it is a.
thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on. I
having
had a great
me. I
time.
know. I know. I always love coming here.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely talk to you on Friday or next
Yes.
Friday, not tomorrow.
Talk to you next Friday about the whole thing. And all right, everybody. So until next time, remember, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno, Satan, and I love you all very much. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to sign off with, Val?
I don't know. Follow me on at Valdranth everywhere. And thanks for coming and also showing up.
Yeah. Love you guys. I want to say a special shout out to GL and Riggs83 for their generous donations.
Hell yeah.
I will talk to y'all later. Y'all take care.
Bye.